2, 1. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Treyders podcast. We have brought together a awesome guest here today, Uncle Bruce. I wish this man was my grandpa, the coolest guy on the planet. Been covering Gamestop like a boss. This is absolutely awesome, man. Bruce, it is a blast, and I'm so excited to have you here on the podcast. Welcome. It's great to have you.
Thanks, buddy. It's fantastic being here. It's just so much fun these days.
Oh, definitely, dude. I've been watching your GameStop videos, and you put out a really interesting one. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but for anybody that's not familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about your channel, what you cover. I know that we just talked about this before we went on the air, but you just recently started. You've been blowing up. Oh, that's insane.
It's unbelievable. This is the first time the two of us are meeting each other, and we're already having fun. I started moving back in August 17. I started a travel channel called Traveling with Bruce. This is my T-shirt here.
Oh man, that's sick.
Talking about cruise ships and all that stuff, and then I started adding information into those videos about the cruise ship shares. I was covering Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and I was finding that I would get a pretty good reaction. But some of my viewers are going, "I just want you to talk about how nice it is to go cruising. I don't want to talk finance." So I thought, I'm going to make a finance channel. And I'll talk about, I can do whatever. So I created Stock Markets with Bruce back in July of 20. And I started putting up videos about the cruise lines, Tesla. And then I found the story about
GameStop. Yeah, man.
The most shorted stock on the New York Stock Exchange. I thought, well, what the hell? I'll do a video on that. And I did a couple of update videos. And then by about December, all this.
Everything took off.
It all took, I mean, all this Ryan Cohen stuff started to show up, and all those, I'm following all those insider reports, all the SEC filings about what was happening. It was just wild. But I decided one day it was like 4 a.m. I'm sitting on my couch doing some research, and the day before the stock had gone to about $40 a share. And the next day there was just all kinds of buzz everywhere about it.
Oh, people are going nuts.
I thought I better go live, because I do go live on my other channel. I thought I better go live and start talking about GameStop to my followers. I only had 1,200 subscribers at that point in time. I just got the channel to 1,200, and I went live, and I had about 6,000 or 8,000 people join me during the show for about an hour and a half, and left it at that. The next morning, it was still going nuts, because now the stock. Remember,
yeah, right. It's just a perfect storm.
Caught with a short position, and then Melvin Capital got caught, and so I started going live I thought I'd go live for an hour or two, and I started an hour before the opening, and I went live for the whole day. I was live for 7.5 straight hours.
Jesus.
Without even a bathroom break. I just
That's
went
dedication.
And I had 70,000 views on that show. And the next day I went live the whole day again. I had 250,000 views the next day. So I've been live every day, 5 days a week. Not the whole day, but 3 hours here, 2 hours here, that kind of thing. It's just amazing.
Man, that is incredible. What's interesting about this is you covered GameStop before it blew up, before it got taken over by all these Redditors and the crazy news and all that stuff. You noticed this back probably when DFV, if you're familiar with Roaring Kitty, the guy who discovered all this, obviously you are, back before, when he got into the stock, which is incredible. That's awesome.
And I never heard of the guy. I had never. Yeah. I didn't know,
right.
I didn't know anything about Wall Street Bets. I didn't know anything about subreddit for GameStop. I didn't know anything about the Roaring Kitty. I was just doing my research, coming up with this stuff, and I just started. As a broker from 1979. I mean, I was a stockbroker back then when I was 24. I'm 65 now. I know how what would happen on a short squeeze. I mean, in those days we'd have
right.
and that type of thing, and it would all be in slow motion compared to today. Because today a short squeeze happens in an hour and it just blows up.
It happens so fast. I mean, the stock market just works so much differently than it did probably in that time. I would assume you probably seen it all come and go.
So I've seen it all, and so I've been educating my viewers about this is what it was like in the 70s and the 80s. This is what it's like now, but there's a lot of similarities, and you can tell the one thing you have to know if you're any good at the market, you understand what human psychology is and how people panic when markets get bad and how they get overexcited when they get too high. You have to learn how to keep a level head when you're in the business, especially if you're a broker with 300 clients. You've got to be the stabilizer.
You got to manage,
staying calm. So I figured, well, I'll go on and I'll use the tactic of let's just talk about the markets in plain English. That's what I'll do. I'm a 65-year-old guy. I'll talk old school, and I'll just dumb it down for people. And I figured I'd probably get a lot of 40, 50, 60-year-olds that will follow me and kind of go, oh, that's what that is. Oh, that's what that
Oh,
means.
right.
I'm shocked because my audience is between 18 and 40. That's most of my audience. Actually, I'm now I'm adopted by the millennials. It's awesome.
A lot of people that want you to be their dad or grandpa, just like me, man. That's what's up. Baby. That's what's up.
That's a good time.
Bruce, what I actually like a lot is for my channel specifically and yours, we've got a lot of similarities in the way that we try to make things simple. I think there's this misconception, and you could probably speak on this more than I can, where the only people that invest are these people wearing suits, it's the brokerages, it's the institutions, right? Or you hand your money off to a Roth IRA or an ETF, and they manage it for you. And I think it's interesting because what you're doing is showing people, hey, it's really not that complicated. If you just sit down and you study what's being complicated in a million words and dumb it down into one sentence, anybody can get into the market. And I really appreciate that because that's what I focus on with my channel. It's awesome. I really love that a lot.
Yeah. And the market is, in the last, 5 years, who would have thought that you could use something like this?
I know.
Stock.
Right.
While you're sitting in the bathroom doing your business. It's unbelievable the opening that's happened. I mean, when I was a broker, I did a video about how it used to be, and a client would call me up on the phone and say, hey, listen, I had some beers last night with a buddy in a bar, and the guy next to us drinking with his buddy, they were talking about an oil well being drilled by a little oil and gas company, in Calgary, Alberta, somewhere here in Canada.
Right.
And I hear that if this thing comes in, it'll be a discovery of epic proportion. So the guy would say to me, I want to buy some stock in that little oil and gas company that's drilling an oil well 500 miles away from our town. And I'd have to write a ticket of the order after I look at my quote machine to see what the thing's trading at, walk it to my desk trader, give him the ticket. He picked up the phone, called the floor trader to put the order in. The floor trader went to the post, yelled out the order, filled the order, came back, phoned the desk trader. Here's what you got. The desk trader would fill out the ticket, put in a little round thing for me. I'd see a little blue ticket in my little number 22 over there. I'd go and pull it out and go, oh, I just bought 5,000 shares at $1.85, and I could call my client and say, you got your stock at $1.85. That took 15 minutes.
Wow, that's insane. I've never even thought about that.
$100. It was crazy. It was insane.
Bruce, I'm 23 years old, and I've been investing for a little while. Obviously, not as long as you. So to put it into perspective is pretty crazy. That's insane. Yeah. That's incredible. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that you pay $50 minimum commission to buy a stock in those days too, but normally it would be 3% of the value of the order. So if you gave me a $7,000 order, your commission would be $200 to buy it.
That's nothing compared to now.
Same thing on the way out, 3% on the way out. So you had to make from $1.85 in, you had to get out at $2.10 or more to really make it work.
Right.
So, and this guy wasn't interested in the day trade. He figured if the oil well would come in, it would go to $5 a share. So if it did go to $5 a share, you'd have 25 grand. Way to go. But I would earn a nice commission on the way out the door. But the difference in those days was the stockbroker, me, would meet this guy for lunch the day after we did the trade, because we would compare more notes together, ideas, and eat lunch together at one of the downtown steakhouses, and I'd pay for it. And then we'd go back to our offices, and I'd go back to work with all my clients, and he would keep his ears open for anything else he's hearing. Those days are gone. I mean,
right? Yeah,
you can buy a stock now in a nanosecond. You don't even know the president of the company's names.
A tenth of a second, 100th of a second, super fast. There are people out there day trading and buying and selling stocks within a second. Sometimes, it's incredible. It's incredible. I know it, man. I didn't think I'd meet another YouTuber that likes soccer as much as I do. I like the energy. That's awesome. This is awesome. It's a good combo. It's a good combo. It's awesome. I've got a question for you. So I watched your video talking about Chicago and Gamestop, and that was an incredible video. That broke things down in a way that I think a lot of people didn't really understand, so that was awesome. I was wondering if you could briefly talk about that GameStop situation again, and then I'd like to hear your opinions regarding AMC, because you can kind of tell these are like the twins, right? They both kind of move in the same direction. They've got the same buyers and sellers coming into these, the same institutions kind of shorting and longing on these stocks. So I'd be interested to hear your perspective on how this runs. Let's hear your thoughts.
Well, this video I did, I guess it was on Friday's show, that I was talking about what might be happening in Chicago, and I'm convinced this is going on. It could be happening with other stocks, but in the case of GameStop, it is absolutely mega amplified. And the
Right.
bottom line is, we know there's only 70 million shares in existence for GameStop, and we know management owns 20 million and the street has 50. Of the 50 million, we know that maybe 10 to 15 million actually could trade. The rest is held by institutional investors.
Right.
But if you take a look at the actual breakdown of how much stock institutional investors have, they have over 100 million of GameStop in their books. How can that be? There's only 70 million shares.
Naked calls.
The other thing that's going on is Chicago has got additional issues because there are market makers that work on the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, that trade options, and that's all they do. And generally options, as most of you know out there, options mirror the price of the stock. So if the stock goes up, call options go up, put options go down. Well, the demand for call contracts on GameStop since about November, December,
way up here,
out of the stratosphere, right? And so what's going on here is Chicago market makers, whose job it is to always have a bid and ask for options trades. These guys are offering blocks of, or as many calls as you basically want to buy, and the further out of the money you want to buy, the more they're happy to sell you. And that's been the pattern up until about, I'm going to say for sure, 2 weeks ago, because the first go around that this GameStop had, it had the run all the way up and then came back down to the 50 range. These Chicago guys are thinking, aha, it's all over. They got their brains handed to them. They got blown out. The stock's going back to 15, 20 bucks, and we'll never hear from these people again. And surprise, surprise,
they were
surprise.
wrong.
We have a buyer of 50,000 shares come in, and he jumps on the stock. And the next thing you know, the stock goes to 50, 55. But during the lull, as the stock came back down, these market makers were offering $80 calls, 90s, 100s, 105s, 110s, all the way up to 200, all the way up to 800.
Oh, totally.
And there are hundreds of thousands of contracts out there. I've heard 457,000, as one of my viewers gave me today, that are out there, and most of them are naked calls. They don't
exist,
the stock.
Right?
And they never do have the stock. Market makers don't carry stock. They only issue stock options. Most of the time when they write them out of the money, they blow out to zero, and they don't have to deliver any paper to anybody. But in the case of GameStop, a week ago Wednesday at 3 o'clock, 1 hour before the close, that's when I usually go on the air for the last hour of the day and the hour after the close. Right at 3 o'clock, around 5 minutes in, I noticed, oh, look at those shares at GameStop. They're sitting at 48, 49. They can't go to 50 all of a sudden. They broke 50. And then 5 minutes later, they broke 55 and they got halted. And I thought, geez.
In the after hours, too.
It took 5 hours for the buyers to be able to break the $50 barrier. It took 5 minutes to get 55, got to 60, got halted, opened up, went to 70, got halted, opened up, went to 91, got halted, didn't trade for the rest of the day, 15 minutes. Then in the aftermarket, it went to 180. So I knew then that with that run, all kinds of these option writers
were getting hedged.
Upside down. They're naked big time.
Right. Yeah, big time.
So the stock, as we saw on Friday, came back to that 100 level, and I thought it would be hammered back down again. But the shorters were trying to stop it, to hammer it down. But the buyers were just saying, give us all you want. We'll just take all you want. There were thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of contracts that were going to expire are in the money. And these guys who had the calls were going to call the stock. They were going to exercise their contracts to get the stock, which meant the Chicago guys have to go and buy it. So now if you have a hedge fund with 1 million share short position, let's say last week, Monday or Tuesday, and they're sitting there going, man, is this thing, it's come back to 50, come back down to 40, went down to 38, 50, but it didn't go back to 15, didn't go back to 20, it didn't die. And now it's coming back to this 45, 50 range. These guys are getting nervous, and they don't want to be the ones to buy 1 million shares in the open market to try to cover their shorts.
Oh, right, because then what's already happened then. That's clear as day.
And I think there's dozens of these guys. I don't think there's one or two hedge funds.
Oh, no, not at all.
Dozens of them, and some have 100,000, some have 300,000, some have 5 million shares. It's all over the map. So, of course, one way to deflect the problem is why don't you just buy a bunch of calls that are in the money, and then exercise your right to buy the stock. The call you're going to buy is the one
strike.
That dies.
Yeah, right.
It dies in 24, 48 hours. Buy those calls near the end. There's very little premium in a $60 call that dies in 4 hours. And so you're paying basically the book value between what it's worth, the exercise price, and what the stock's trading at. So if it's $100 a share, it's a $40 call, maybe $3 a premium, $5 premium. You're paying $105 to buy the stock. Buy enough calls between 50, 51, all the way up to 65 to cobblestone together enough calls to get all your million shares. And then on top of that, buy enough calls to buy another million shares. And now you exercise the right to buy 2 million shares.
And now they're long.
It's not a problem. And then what happens, of course, is the problem now is a Chicago problem. The Chicago guy's got to get the paper, not the hedge fund guy. Because the hedge fund guy's long 2 million shares. And the first million he gets, he's going to take care of his short. The rest he's going to get, he's long. And he's going to be the guy happy to sell the Chicago guy the million shares of the 2 million he needs. He'll offer it at 120, 130, 140, all the way up with the Chicago guy buying it up. And so I figured today could be the day where we would have some activity on the stock over $100 a share. And sure enough, it went to 133 today. And I'm wondering how many of these hedge funds were selling the same stock that they were buying from the option writer back to the market. Unbelievable.
Man, you broke that down in a much smarter way than I've been talking about. But it's funny that you say that, because in a much simpler way, or I should say a different way, I've been saying the same thing for a long time. I've been talking about, man, you've got a great perspective. I can tell you've been doing this forever. I've been saying you're going to have institutions and hedge funds that go long in this, because this hedge fund and institution game is cutthroat. I don't think it's necessarily the fact that they're trying to help out the retail investor, but they see an opportunity to make money, whether it's to go long or to go short, ride it on the way up, short it on the way down. And I'd say probably 2 weeks ago, like I've been covering AMC, as I mentioned, I said, you guys watch. You're going to have institutions that go long on this, that step into the game. And you can see these institutional buys come in. You can see these naked call options that are coming in where they can't cover the collateral. They can't hedge these positions. And these market makers and these hedge funds are doing everything they can to go long on it, to go with the grain instead of against the grain. And we've seen it happen with both these stocks. It's insane. It's
insane. It's absolutely insane. I was thinking the other thing, I mentioned something to my viewers today, and that was, when the stock's $120 a share and you short the stock, the most money you can possibly make is $120 a share. Right. That's all the upside you've got, but the downside is unlimited. Unlimited. And the thing is that the upside isn't going to be to zero anyway, because if you're shorter at 120, you're a winner if it goes back to 50. So you're only going to make $70. But for a $70 upside gain, you're prepared to risk unlimited losses, and the guys on the other side of the trade that you're hammering with your sells are hedge funds that have just as many billions of dollars. Right. And these guys are smelling blood in the water. I think there are hedge traders. Hedge funds I love that quote. Billions of dollars. You remember the first time the stock blew up, and we heard everyone who lost money. We heard about Andrew Left with his 2 million share blowout. Then Melvin Capital lost almost $3-4 billion. Then Robinhood had to fund themselves on an emergency. Yeah, like $3.5 billion or whatever it was. All that stuff. And then we heard there were all kinds of winners, like little kids who were given stock for Christmas one year, and they sold. Those are the greatest stories. $3,000 hit. We heard about college students buying $5,000 worth of call contracts, way out of the money, turned it into $250,000. Then we heard about a hedge fund that made $700 million on a deal. There were winners and losers on the whole thing. Right. That whole episode, from what I see now, is chump change, because what's happening now is I suspect there are 240 million shares trading out there of GameStop, and there are only 70 in existence, 70 million. And there's 170 million shares with amplified option positions and the fail to delivers. And so you thought you saw a lot of money lost, but the first time around when there's $6-8 billion floating around, watch this one. We might be talking 50 billion. And there are going to be hedge funds that might bite the dust on this one. Bruce, let me get this straight. We got to make sure this is crystal clear for everybody listening right now. You're saying that $500 that we hit could be chump change in comparison to what could possibly come with GameStop. Yeah, because my thinking here is that the guys who are playing the game now, you look at the daily volume on this stock, and from Wednesday afternoon last week, Thursday, Friday, 300 million shares traded hands. There's only 70 million in existence. That's impossible. Right. It's naked. Trade 300 million trades. They're fabricating shares that don't exist. Right. There's not enough stock. So there's way more stock out there. These hedge funds are now shorting ETFs that hold GameStop. I mean, we've got shenanigans going on all over the place, and failure to delivers are coming up. The big one is going to be all the activity on that Wednesday I just described a little while ago, where the stock went from 44 to 91. About 30 to 50 million were shorted that afternoon in 45 minutes. And I am expecting that to be it didn't set when settlement came, they didn't have the stock. Now they're on a 21-day time frame. And on March the 19th is the 21st day. And that happens to coincide with the quadruple witching hour day of the third Friday in March. It's just going to be pandemonium. So between now and then, I think we're going to see a huge run up in the stock. And then that day will create incredible havoc on top of everything else. And it could go much, much higher because there's just not enough paper to satisfy everyone's needs. The only way out for this deal now is if the company were to issue stock from its treasury on a secondary offering. That's the only way that these shorters can fully get covered again. And I kind of wonder, why would GameStop be interested in selling stock now at $120 a share when they're probably being told by some of these Wall Street guys, hey, I've got to tell you, buddy, you guys in Texas are laughing now because there are a ton of stock that has to be acquired. You're the only place they can get it from, and you don't need to give it away for $120 a share. Maybe you'll sell some at 500, maybe you'll sell some at 700, maybe you'll sell some at 800. I was thinking that if they just blew off 20 million shares to raise their total stock number to 90, they sold 20 million at maybe 500 a share, pick a number. That's $10 billion cash into the treasury of GameStop. With $10 billion cash and 90 million shares outstanding, the company shares would probably never trade under $200 a share again. Because
that's insane.
$100 in cash per share, $100 in cash. What are they going to do with $10 billion? And the fact that they're closing their stores down and becoming an e-commerce company. This company's going to be valued like Amazon was always valued, or like Chewy's being valued now. Chewy, which was created by Cohen, Ryan Cohen, he co-created Chewy. It's capitalized at $45 billion. GameStop at $100 is $7 billion. GameStop has more sales than Chewy does in dollars, and they're probably going to be the first to make a profit before Chewy ever makes a profit. So even if they capitalize at $40 billion, the stock would be $600 a share.
Man,
that's so out of whack. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Okay, so now I got to know your opinion here. So as we'd mentioned previously, AMC and GameStop move side by side, right? I've been the AMC guru, you've been the GameStop guru, and the numbers are very similar. You've got, I think, the exact same thing happening across both sides. So if today, for instance, the short volume that was available, right, the total lendable shares almost zero. Like, it's extremely low. You've got like between 1,000 and 10,000 total short shares available. The utilization is insane. You've got like 96% of the current legal, not naked short shares available that are being held right now. So it seems like AMC is set up the exact same way, and the call options trading there is extremely unusual, especially on that March date like you're talking about, where you've got the say it again, the quadruple, what was the name of that?
Hour.
Yeah, the witching hour. Right.
Yeah.
So you've got the exact same setup. AMC is set up the exact same. I want to hear your opinion, man. Is this possible that we can see that same sort of, like, as I went up to $25, and I've been saying forever, I think you've got the potential for a gamma squeeze and a short squeeze because of the insane short interest, the naked call options that are being written, right? The call options that continue to grow every single week over week over week. They need to be hedged, right? Let's hear your opinions, man. The crowd wants to know. I've seen AMC in the chat 10,000 times.
Well, I got to tell you, the SEC and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the New York Exchange, NASDAQ, there's no rule anywhere that says that the options guys cannot create a certain number of contracts. They can create all they want, whatever the demand is.
Right.
So market makers in Chicago have been offering call contracts to any buyer that is, in their mind, dumb enough to come to me and say, yeah, I want to buy 10,000 calls or 5,000 calls at $15 on AMC, good for 3 months. Oh, sure. I'm happy to give you that contract. What, am I, an idiot? Of course I'll take the money. Because these guys are going, there's just, how's that possible? The stock was down to $2, $3, $4, $5. There's no way it's 15, right? So there's that. There's no limit on contract writing, no limit on contract creating. The thinking was in the old days when I started, contracts came out in the early 80s, and they only had 1 month expiration. So it was the third Friday of every month. So you either bought a March contract or an April contract,
right? Totally.
There were no weeklies, right? So these systems, the only calls that came out were calls that were written by actual shareholders of the stock. You had to have the paper to write a call because the broker was in effect shorting stock 100 shares at a time per contract. Well, that changed when they came out with the weeklies because the CME people, they were sitting there going, it's kind of boring, we only have one expiration per month.
It's kind of boring. I love that.
But then it's kind of dreadfully quiet for the first 2 weeks of the next cycle. So if we come out with weeklies that expire every Friday, we can create way more liquidity. We can create way more action. But the other move they made was they allowed their market makers, members of the floor that had enough capital to be able to write naked call options and naked put options. And that changed the whole business. That took Chicago into serious coin.
Oh,
and
yeah, right.
A lot of guys in their 20s and 30s working on the floor of the CME making a ton of money issuing contracts. But it also gave Chicago and indirectly New York a lot more liquidity because now hedge funds and pension funds and mutual funds could now trade these contracts along with the stock. And that brought a lot more money into the game because the game got more liquid, right? Now with AMC, you don't have 70 million outstanding. You're 300 something million, I believe.
Yeah, 345 about.
Yeah, more paper floating around, but it's cheaper paper. So it's all relative, right? It's GameStop today is 120 at the close last I saw. AMC much cheaper, 1/10 the price barely. And so here we go. There's in effect, people can pick up thousands of shares of AMC versus hundreds of shares of GameStop. So it's theoretically possible that between now and the 19th of March, with all the options contract games going on, with all the shorting going on in the meantime, and the failure to deliver securities game, which is a brand new term that is now making the rounds everywhere.
Everywhere, man.
We have ourselves some really interesting stuff. Gamma squeeze, short squeeze, failure to deliver squeeze, on and on it goes. I'm wondering if some of the senior stock market people in New York and some of the senior SEC folks, Chicago people, are wondering to themselves, what's going on here? What are we missing something? Because our broker members at the houses, they had an issue when the GameStop shares took a run, along with with all the others that went with a so-called meme stock phenomenon took place in January. All of a sudden, stock brokerage firms were undercapitalized, and I'm wondering if I were a regulator, I'd be going, what's going on? Why are these guys undercapitalized with stocks that are trading at, in the case of GameStop, okay, went from $20 to 500 or 400 range and then back. These guys had no capitalization problems when Tesla took off. When Tesla went from $50 a share to 300 a share to 500 a share to 2,000 a share, split 5 for 1, back to 400, and all the way up to 900. No brokerage house had a liquidity problem with Tesla, and yet the analysts out there were saying, Tesla trading at 2,500 a share. It's only worth about $300 a share book value. This is all potential. And the market was going, yeah, but we know that it's good potential. It's the kind of potential that mutual funds believe in, the kind of potential that pension funds believe in, that kind of potential. With GameStop and with AMC, they're looking at it going, this is pure speculation. There's no whatsoever about it. It's all pie in the sky crap. You forget about it. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking, you know what? GameStop was capitalized at $350 million last July. $5 a share, 70 million shares out. Market cap, $350 million. Today, at the opening, it was $100 a share. It had a $7 billion market cap. This is nothing compared to Apple at $2.6 trillion.
Right. Or Tesla.
Amazon at $1.8 trillion. So why would this kind of a company, a GameStop and then Amazon and AMC and BlackBerry and Bed Bath & Beyond and all the other meme stocks, you put them all together and figure out the market cap. These guys aren't capped at even $100 billion. So why would trading those shares cause brokerage houses to have capitalization issues? There's only one reason. Because there isn't 70 million shares outstanding of GameStop. There isn't 300 million shares outstanding or trading of AMC. And every other meme stock, there's probably quadruple the amount of stock trading, and it's unreported. It's off the books. And I'm thinking these guys in New York, the guys running the exchange, the guys in the SEC, they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue because the brokers are burying the problem. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, why is GameStop at $120 a share when every analyst, there's like 8 analysts that cover it, not one analyst is giving that stock a $12 value or higher. Not one. And there's no brokerage firm recommending the stock to be bought by anybody. And yet it trades at $120 a share today, 40 million shares traded hands, $5 billion in stock traded hands today on that stock. That can't be from 50 million free trade. Can't be.
No, man, you got some freaking wizardry. This is gold.
All the evidence. It's like if you're a detective, you're going, this murder makes no sense because there's too many clues that just, it's not that guy who did it. It's got to be these guys. So we're in a war here, and I suspect, like you suspect, that there are hedge funds smelling blood in the water. There's going to be a blow up come out. It's gonna come out, and it almost broke 3 weeks ago when the stock of GameStop went as high as 400, and then all of a sudden people couldn't buy the stock. When's the last time, as young as you are, have you ever heard of a broker not letting a person buy stock?
Robinhood, man.
What's going on? That right there is the tip of the iceberg of problems. And I'm blown away that these guys at Robinhood are trying to do an IPO. And
they're done. They're done.
There's brokerage houses in New York that are prepared to sponsor an IPO of a company that 3 weeks ago was undercapitalized on meme stocks that had a market value of maybe $100 billion. What the heck is going on? Something is really wrong here. And that's what I'm trying to explain to my channel in plain English. That's it.
Man, you are a freaking wizard. That was the most intelligent way to break that down. I've been covering, AMC and GameStop, mostly AMC, over the last month. And when it was really in the valleys of the shadow, it was just in the dirt. And I was covering all the numbers, doing the math, crunching numbers. I'm sure you were. The same thing with GameStop. You would not believe the amount of people that said, this is a dead cat, man. Like, why are you still covering this? Not a dead cat. Like, we're printing this out in plain English. Like, they're busted. Like, you see, and I think the most important point that I hadn't even really crunched the numbers on, you've already done the math, is the amount of shares that probably exist in comparison to the actual shares outstanding, right? It's illegal. This is basically the market's being caught red-handed doing things we know they're not supposed to do, and that's all the proof in the pudding. What did you just say? $7 billion of stock exchange hands today on GameStop? Like, that tells you $5 billion. That tells you everything. And I guarantee you the same thing happened with AMC because they mirror each other. You've got the same buyers and sellers, whether it's retail or institutional, stepping into both these stocks, pushing it up and down, whatever it might be, and the math doesn't add up. That tells you the whole story. We've been saying this forever, man. You had that congressional meeting, last week? The Congress got these guys in front of the Congress. The only person in front of Congress last week that could actually give you a yes or no answer, because they all wanted just a yes or no answer after giving a speech to their Congress district. The only guy was the shareholder of GameStop, the guy that just bought 50,000 more. What's his name again? It's Will. DFB. That's Rory Kitty.
Right. He was the only guy that could say, do I like the company? Yes. Are you buying more shares in the company? Yes. Are you going to buy more? Yes.
I am not a cat.
Everyone else is going, thank you, Congressman, for your question. I really appreciate being here.
Vlad.
Stall. And they had the wrong people. They had the Robinhood guy who's going to just, say nothing if at all possible.
Man.
They didn't bring in anyone from the SEC. Did you see anybody there from the Clearing Corporation? There was nobody there from DTCC.
Not a chance.
That's the problem link right there. The DTCC, the Clearing Corporation, they know exactly, they have to know that there's a problem in the woodshed because this number of shares that brokers are supposed to deliver to us and the number of shares that brokers are expecting to acquire today from us, we're not able to match it up. We're short all the time. There's not enough paper coming in on settlement day from the sellers. The sellers can't deliver the paper they've been selling for the buyers to take out, and then it reverses the rest of the day. And so everyone gets these extensions because you have a 21-day failure to deliver window to get it all together. And even after 21 days, it's not happening. It's an absolute nightmare. And well, as you probably know, you want to look into the affairs of an ETF. You can go online. Anybody can go online. Go to
Right.
Google, type in the name of an ETF, and then just type in there the holdings of that ETF. You hit that, and there's a list of all the shares they've got. It'll tell you exactly how many shares they have. It'll tell you what percentage of the portfolio it is. But what you can't find in any filing anywhere, even if you look up a hedge fund, you can find what a hedge fund holds. You'll only find their long positions. You'll find their calls, you'll find their shares, and you'll find the puts that they have. But you will not find a single report of any short position that they have.
Right. And it's a way for them to backdoor short stocks.
They don't have to declare it.
Right.
The SEC doesn't make it mandatory for a hedge fund or a pension fund or anyone else to declare their short positions. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. If a hedge fund has 5 shares of Apple, 5 shares, they have to tell you. They have to tell you because they're managing other people's money. But if they're short 5 million GameStop, they don't have to say not a word, not a declaration. And I'm going, what is this crap all about? Allow that to happen. It is not like 2 years ago this was instituted. This has always been the case. And I haven't heard anyone anywhere say we're going to institute a mandatory declaration of short positions. No one. I did read an article today that I think came out of Europe, that if you're a European hedge fund or a pension fund or a mutual fund and you're shorting stock, if you have at least half of 1% of the company shares shorted, you have to declare. And they're now thinking of dropping that down to 1/10% of stock. So in the case of GameStop, you take 70 million shares, 10% is 7 million, 1% is 700,000. 0.1 is 70,000. You got 70,000 or more short in Europe, you have to declare. In the US, you don't have to declare any of it.
Wow.
None of it. Well, how fair is that? If you got a retail investor trying to buy 100 shares at GameStop,
and they're getting a skewed picture,
who are you buying it from? You could be buying it from a guy who's shorting another 100 shares on top of the 5 million he's already shorted.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
And I bet you there are people out there who would think twice about buying stock in any company if they knew that the stock that they're trying to buy that they think is a good deal, they might even be being told by Wall Street, "Oh, this is a great buy. We've upgraded the stock."
Oh, they work together. They're like this.
You're buying stock from a guy who's shorting it to you, and he's already sitting on $20 million worth or 20 million,
right.
Whatever.
It's straight up manipulation.
Total deception, and nothing. I'm hearing crickets coming from the regulators. Absolute crickets. But maybe it's me. Maybe my hearing isn't so good.
No, Bruce, you're onto something. I mean, man, this is awesome. They're calling you a silverback gorilla in the chat right now. They think you're awesome. Everybody's showing love to you. They're saying you're the goat. You're an absolute beast. We're loving this. And what I am so pumped about is not only this squeeze potential, but a way that you could have both GameStop and AMC kind of rebrand. So AMC's already done it. So they did a direct offering. They raised capital based on the situation here, right? All the money that's taken place, been traded on the stock. They did a direct offering, raised some capital, about $700 million after taxes and fees. Now, what you got here with both GameStop and AMC is an opportunity to rebrand and innovate for the future. They have all this capital running in. So what I'm thinking about with GameStop, you've already talked about it, is moving into e-commerce, right? They could 100% do that, and I think that's the way. If they don't do it, they might go bankrupt. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they do, but that's an opportunity. Same with AMC. You've got the opportunity for them to kind of rebrand the theater experience, or maybe get an acquisition deal with Amazon, or who knows what, right? So I think there's a huge opportunity with both of these companies to actually have like a fundamentally valuable company, which is crazy, because it's all originated from a meme stock, which is insane. It's so crazy. I want to hear what you think about that.
It is absolutely true. I think the Wall Street bets, that entire entity with Reddit has been a godsend. It is probably saving a number of companies, and may in the future save a number of other companies.
Oh, it's going to change the way the market works forever.
Oh yeah, because last summer GameStop was sitting with 70 million shares out, or actually they were at one point 2 years ago they had 105 million out, and they had 70 million shorted, and the stock had gone from the 40s down to $5 a share. The corporation GameStop, the board of directors authorized to buy back 35 million shares of their own stock off the street, and they bought 35 million at an average of $5.19 a share. That left the company with 70 million outstanding and 70 million short. The shorters at that point stopped shorting stock because they figured, well, we're 1 for 1, and it's down to 5. And to me, I'm amazed at this. These guys shorted at 40, 35, 33, 32, all the way down to $5.
Try to bankrupt them. That was exactly it.
They didn't cash in.
They got
all
greedy.
they had left to gain, the last money they could possibly get was from 5 to 0. But no. They weren't going to take their money off the table at 5. No, we're going to crush these guys down to death. And the company had one move to make.
Man.
They either bought back those 35 million shares, or they were going to have 35 million shorted, and then they were in real trouble. So they did the move, smart move by GameStop, and stopped the bleeding at that point. But the shorts never got the picture to buy it back. And somewhere on the Reddit site, somebody somewhere did the math.
DFV.
And, looking at the short reports that the New York Stock Exchange releases every month, and they're going, look at these stocks with 40% high or higher short positions, and here's one at 140% of free float. How does the SEC allow that? How
140% free float.
How do the clearinghouses allow it? Because there's no rule saying you can't do that. There's no rule. And so, of course, the shorters are going to say, hey, when we shorted our stock, there actually were 70 million free trading or 85 million free trading. The company bought back 35 million shares, and they dropped it to 50 million. So they actually caught us, offside. It wasn't our doing. It was the company doing. We shouldn't be blamed. Maybe that's the excuse they would use, because I'm thinking, what would a lawyer say on behalf of the client?
Yeah, right.
But geez, man, this is unbelievable. So when Wall Street Bets found this story, when it, last November, December, when it happened, it was a savior for this company. It actually saved the company. And here we are now at 120 a share. If GameStop sold, if they sold 5 million shares right now, they'd bring in 600 million cash. I don't think they even owe 600 million cash on some of them.
Definitely not. And I think they're taking this opportunity to let it run still. I think they honestly are. And it's a way for them to kind of rebrand. And, initially I thought they messed up. I thought they messed up by not raising capital when it was at $400 or $500 a share. I was like, what were they thinking by not, buying back some shares and capitalizing on the capital that's sitting there in their stock right now? And now that you're talking it out like this, it's insane, because they were thinking we can get more based on the numbers that we know. They can rebrand the company based on the fact that it's not dead yet. It's still moving. This isn't a game over yet. And that's insane. And you know what? I want to talk about this too, is how Wall Street Bets and Reddit is going to be able to change the way that these big institutional companies cheat the market forever. It's leveling the playing field, because think about, you already know this, I'm sure, these big institutions and hedge funds, they have so much more availability to resources than the average retail investor, right? So all we're doing now with the internet and Reddit and Discord and Facebook and Twitter or whatever it may be, we're leveling the playing field. We're doing, I wouldn't even say as bad as what they're doing, because they still have more information than we do, but it's I don't want to say a witch hunt. That's not the right way to say things, but you can pinpoint information by bringing people together like they're doing and play a similar game. It evens the playing field. It's insane. It's crazy.
I'm waiting for the fallout to be had, and I can't call the exact day, but I think March 19th is going to be a big part of this. But it might go beyond that. But there will be a point in time where we're going to start hearing news like we heard back in January, where CNBC will announce bulletin, XYZ hedge fund raises $4 billion from so-and-so to cover shortfalls. Then 2 days later, ABC blah, blah, blah investment fund gets $2.5 billion. And then you're going to hear stuff like, whatever hedge fund is closing their doors. They're done for. They are declaring bankruptcy, because these calls, these settlements are coming up. They can't cover, because this thing is amplified out so badly. And it'll be GameStop and AMC stock and a bunch of others. And at that point, as it starts to accelerate, because it'll be one here, then two, then three more, two more, then we're going to get these politicians going, what the hell's going on with our financial system? Why are these guys in such trouble? The stock market is at record highs. The inflation is at nothing. Bank lending is cheap. How come these guys are short of cash all of a sudden? And this is when the regulators will look into this thing and open up the lid and take a look inside this little box. And they're going to go, give me a flashlight. I can't make this out. And they're going to hit the flashlight down there. And it's going to be just, you remember that scene in the Aliens when they're all locked in that room and they bolted shut and welded everything shut. And
Yeah, man.
They're 20 meters away. They're 10 meters away. They're not. They can't. They're inside this room. They're not inside this room. And then they went, oh, geez, look at the ceiling. They looked at the ceiling, and here they come crawling through the pipes. And this is when they look down in the box and go, oh, my God, we've got a 50 to a whatever $1 billion absolute undeclared shortfall here of all kinds of firms who've been hiding it on us. And now there will be repercussions. There will be forced resignations. There will be early retirements announced. I need more time with my family announced.
Right.
There's going to be bankruptcies and problems. I just sense something really ugly is going on. And we didn't believe, if you've watched the movie The Big Short, no one believed in 2006 and 7 and even into 8 that there was a problem in the U.S. housing market, because why would Wall Street compound their problems by leveraging their bets on all of these crazy instruments? And yet they did. And they got caught, and
people
they
get greedy,
bailed out by the government and the taxpayers of the United States rather than pay the price. And now I'm wondering this time around, here we go with the next little problem, because they're unregulated. As you've said, so many of these guys are completely unregulated. They can do all kinds of shenanigans, and they get themselves into trouble. And half the guys know the other half are on the wrong side of the trade, and they're going to get them. And that's going to upset the whole thing.
Okay. So the market housing crash in 2008. Do you think something like that is possible again with the market when all this crazy stuff goes down? Because unless you live under a boulder, which everybody's been talking about all over the place, people have been saying there's going to be a huge market crash coming up in the next 1 or 2 years. And the only thing that I could, make sense of there is people are saying this meme stocking is going to destroy the market. Like it's gonna absolutely demolish the structure that we have built. And I've been, stating myself, of course, I've only been investing for a short time. I'm 23 years old, but from what I see on a technical perspective, I focus on chart setups. I try to read news, read numbers. I don't see that happening in the next couple months or even the next year, right? I just don't think it's there. What do you think? I want to hear that.
Well, I like this. I like the way the market is looking. I'm not happy with some of the PE multiples, but I get it. The stimulus program is being passed by Congress. It's done. It's going to go through the Senate. It's going to happen. 1.9 trillion will enter the economy, will immediately be rollover in the economy. All good for American business. It's all going to the hands that are going to immediately spend the money rather than going to billionaires who are just going to put it in their savings account.
Right.
This money is going to go in. So this is all good. So the market's future here, next 6 months, great. 6 months after that, people are going to have their shots. That will be, going down to the 60-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds. Everyone's going to have their vaccinations. We're going to open up the economy. So that's all positive for the market. Nothing to worry about there. Inflation, maybe a little, but who cares? 3-4% inflation, even 5%, no problem. The market will still go up because the companies will raise prices faster than inflation anyway. Not a problem. What the issue is, I think, is we're in a situation here where a lot of entities that are not major Wall Street institutions, we're talking about hedge funds that are 3 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion, 15 billion, that are funded privately with their own investors. These are the guys, bunches of them, there's hundreds of them, but a bunch of these guys, not every one of them, but a bunch of them are into the problem. They're into an issue. Some are going to win on this thing, and some are going to lose on this thing. And I think what will happen is once the number hits a certain amount, whatever it might be, $50 billion problem, $40 billion problem, whatever. Once these announcements come out about defaults or emergency funding to keep this hedge fund alive in a record market, that's when the regulators are going to go, okay, hold on a minute. Something is not really right on the big picture. Because what I've been talking to you about is something isn't right on the small picture.
Right. Microscopically.
Everyone has been trying to blame the retail investor for the problem. You notice
just don't watch the news.
Nasty, conspiring little people who have the gall to talk to each other on the internet and come up with a way to screw with the market.
Man.
That's not it at all. And now it's going to come out that, wait a minute, this $5 billion in trading today for GameStop. This isn't nickel and dime investors doing that. They could do 500 million a day, but they can't do 5 billion a day. And even then, you're going to do 5 billion day after day after day of trading. This is institutional. This is hedge fund to hedge fund, pension fund to pension fund. There's a war going on with some big players. But I'm waiting for the regulators to come in here and go, okay, we're going to stop it right now. We're gonna figure this out right here, find out who's done what, where is everything going, because this could accelerate into mid-cap companies and then large cap companies. It could accelerate because once this problem evolves without reporting short positions and having unlimited ability to short, unlimited ability to hedge and what have you with options, you're gonna eventually get it up to the Apple problem. You're gonna have an Amazon problem. You're gonna have a Google problem, because these companies have billions of shares outstanding. That's true. But Google only went public with about a 15% of the company float. 85% is held by management. But if you allow the 15% that's floating to now be leveraged up to equal more than the shares of the company itself, you've got trillions of dollars of problems. And then you will have the big market problem. But at this point, we're starting down here with these little ones, these little guys, where you can really kick around GameStop all you want. There's only 70 million to kick around. That's nothing in Wall Street. I mean, some of these hedge funds could right now just make an offer to buy a GameStop for 150 share, buy the whole company for cash, and write the check, and that's the end of it. But this thing goes to 500 a share, it goes to 800 a share on this absolute magnified nightmare that's coming together. Now this GameStop is valued at $50 billion market cap. And what if you've got a 5-time multiple on top of that as the problem? That's $250 billion. This
you
is
can't. Yeah, at that point, it's game over. They can't.
It's just going to spread out. So now all companies are vulnerable to all kinds of leveraging issues. And GameStop has done nothing wrong. The company has 5,600 stores. They sell video games. They look after their customers. Their checks don't bounce. There's no problem at GameStop. It's the brokerage area, the hedge fund, Wall Street brokerage, and the entire Chicago/New York system. There's the issue. And you've got guys finagling in between, skirting the rules and playing the settlement delay and the non-delivery game, and they're hiding their issues and positions, because what they're all hoping for is one thing. They all hope that the stock goes back to $5 a share and they can make this all go away. And that's why
that's never going to happen. Never ever.
Put down and get it back, and they're hoping that the individual investor who owns the stock gets upset and nervous, and so they spread all kinds of rumors out there about how over leveraged the stock is, and how everyone could lose all their money, and how how retail investors are being taken advantage of by promoters, and there's blah 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 blah, and it's not the case. Not the numbers now.
You know, I've been telling everybody, and you probably are going to agree with this too, is you'll know when this game is over when the media stops talking about it. The minute that they stop talking about it, the minute they stop trying to convince you that you're going to lose your money, you're making a big mistake, like this is a stupid stock, you shouldn't invest your money, that's when it's over. And as soon as you stop seeing that news, the media coverage, that means that it's done, right? But I just don't see any possible way that's going to happen. I mean, every single day you've got hit pieces out on AMC, hit pieces out on GameStop, BlackBerry, Nokia, whatever the stocks are, and it's just not going to happen. It's absolutely insane. I don't see a way.
Yeah, the genie's out of the bottle. They couldn't. They thought they won the war. The guys who they lost billions, already, but they figured, okay, we took a hit, but at least we've got this thing solved. We got AMC to go back down to $6-8 or whatever it was. We got Bed Bath & Beyond to go from the 40s all the way down back to the low 20s. We got all these stocks down, including GameStop. We got them back to $35-40 a share, and they're
just taking a nap.
We'll take our licking. We were wrong, but the problem was that the unleveraging wasn't done. The unleveraging was still there,
right?
And now it's been.
And they claim they still held. They covered their short positions.
Yeah, they covered the short positions that they report through the New York Exchange, but they've replaced them with new positions elsewhere.
Exactly.
And now it's coming home to roost, and it's going to just be an absolute nightmare. I don't want to say that a company's shares can go from 120 to 500 a share, because I come off sounding like a dream merchant. I mean, I'm like a crazy promoter, but I'm looking at this thing going, I don't know how this can't go there, because I don't know how to unwind this deal unless every shareholder that's long just gives up and sells. And it's not happening, because there are people who hold GameStop shares who have decided, I'm going to wait for the management of GameStop to completely change the business model of GameStop from a brick and mortar company to an online retail company because they've already got rid of the CFO. They've hired people from Amazon and Chewy. They're bringing people in. They're closing stores down, and the changeover is already happening. And this is where the genie is out of the bottle. You can't put it back. It's too late, and it's all over. It's just now a matter of time. And I wouldn't be surprised if every day, on average, this thing goes up $10-20 a share.
You think it's going to go up 10 or 20% a share every day until the 19th?
It'll just keep rolling. And even then, it'll go beyond.
Man.
The company has its reports, its annual statements come out just after the 19th. They're going to have their conference call with Wall Street to tell the world what they're up to and how they're evolving. The company might then announce after that, they might announce a secondary offering because right now, I bet you their lawyers are saying, you can't say anything right now. You're in the quiet period. You've got to release your financials and you got to have your disclosure to the street. Then you can go ahead and proceed with the secondary. But by that time, we're talking what, 300 share, 500 shares, 700?
Right,
I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think the stock will ever go back to $10, $15 a share again. There is so much over leverage on this and so much shorted. It's insane. It's just insane. Now, I got to tell you, I hate to cut you off because this is
that's totally okay. That's awesome. This is awesome. You've got great energy, and I love your passion. That's great.
I got to go to my other channel. In 19 minutes, I have another live show that I'm doing on my other channel. And then I have to go and handle those guys. So we got to do this again. But what we're going to do next time is you are going to come onto my channel and we're going to have fun talking. Because I'm on sometimes 5 hours a day. So I got all kinds of time to talk.
100%, man. 100%. I try to live stream every day for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. I work full time. But when I've got the time, I rock it for sure.
Perfect.
Man, that's awesome. Hey, you guys need to check out Uncle Bruce. I've got his channel linked in the description box down below. This guy is a wizard. I definitely learned a lot today. I'll always admit when I learned something from somebody. You taught me a lot today, Bruce. That is absolutely awesome. So thank you so much, man. It's absolutely awesome.
It's been a pleasure, Trey, and all the best to you and your viewers. Keep the drive going, buddy. The way you're building your channel, you're not going to have a day job much longer. You're going to be doing this full time. You're going to be great. And all the best to everybody out there, and we'll all see you guys next time.
Hey, man, that's awesome. Uncle Bruce, part of the Gorilla Gang. Great to have you here. You have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
All right, take it easy.
Right on.
All right, guys. So that was a blast. Holy Toledo. If you guys dug Uncle Bruce, let me tell you, he is an absolute wizard. I definitely learned a lot. Uncle Bruce, if you are still chilling in the chat right now, I'm going to keep on rolling with my live stream. So you can head on over to your channel if you'd like to. It was great to have you here. Thank you, my man. Check him out if you'd like to. Man, that was a blast. So we're going to bring over here, I know I haven't read any of these super chats yet. I wanted to take advantage of Bruce while he was here. Absolutely awesome. Thank you to Nick. I appreciate the uveitis. I did have some eye drops here, that I'm rocking right now. I've got some dilation drops as well as some prednisone, which has been helping out an immense amount. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed him. I was trying to read the comments as much as I could, but of course, we got to be respectful to our guests while he's here. He taught us a lot, and let me tell you what I picked up from that based on how it applies to AMC, right? Because I see a lot of people were, maybe a little bit frustrated that we didn't talk about AMC, and you don't need to be frustrated because what do you need to pay attention to? Let me show you exactly what you need to pay attention to, right? I'm going to pull up AMC right now and GameStop side by side, and this is going to tell you the entire story. This will tell you everything that you need to know about exactly what he was talking about. So check this out. I've got this pulled up on the screen. What do you need to know? If we look at this on a 1 month chart, what do they do? What does GameStop and AMC do? They move side by side. The exact same premise applies to both of these companies. They move in tandem, right? So when AMC jumps, GameStop jumps because the situation is the same, right? So don't think too inside the box, right? What we need to focus on is not thinking inside the box. We need to think about, hey, how does this apply to our current situation? And the situation is the same, right? So in this situation that we're dealing with right now, AMC, you've got a lot of shares that are floating around by these institutional buyers, right? You've got a lot of naked options that exist that are causing more shares to exist than presently should, right? That are driving the price action. He referred to $5 billion that were traded today on GameStop compared to their overall market cap, which is like, what do you say, $7 billion? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't happen unless there's some illegal stuff going on right now in regards to GameStop. The same thing applies to AMC, guys. It applies to AMC. That's insane. Man, man, I'll tell you what, that was a blast. I feel like it was really nice to hear exactly what we've been talking about on the channel in a much more intelligent way. He's a very smart guy. That was absolutely awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna be sticking around for a while as well. We're gonna see if we can bring on Max to the live stream here at some point. I know that he had texted me throughout that chat. And we're going to see if he wants to join us. If he does, we'll have Max on here. But we're going to go over some numbers. We're going to talk about the AMC numbers as much as we can here. Just give me 1 second here to text Max and get myself a glass of water. I tell you what, we get this video to 3,300 likes. I will slam a mug of water, some straight up Gorilla Gang juice straight out of the mug. And we'll be cooking with Crisco. Get right nice and hydrated. So let me text Max Maher really quick here. Maher. I always say that wrong. You want to join the live stream now? Dude, Bruce is a G. All right, guys, give me 1 second just to grab some water. We'll be back cooking with Crisco. We'll go over your guys' questions. We'll talk about the numbers. We'll talk about how awesome AMC did today because it was a grand slam day. We are setting it up. I've got a lot of exciting things to talk about and lessons that I think we pulled from that session with Uncle Bruce. That was some wizardry stuff. Give me 1 second here. All right. Ooh, man, that was solid. That was a blast. All right, so we got KW says, "Hey, I'm 55ish and I follow you both, dude. I'm glad that you're rocking. You're cooking with Crisco. That's absolutely awesome. Thank you to Cherith as well. Wall Street Assassin says, Trey, Fintel shows UBS Asset Management looks like they sold 90,000 shares of GameStop and 51,000 shares of Value. Can you double check? Very interesting. Sold today." So let me take a quick peek at what this is looking like. 1 second here. So I'll pull up Fintel on GameStop and see exactly what we're seeing here. So GameStop, Fintel, institutional ownership. That should show us if they sold out of their position. So let me pull this up here really quick and I'll share my screen with everybody. What we have here. LSV Asset. I think that was the company you were talking about. So let me come back here just to make sure that was it. I think it was LSV Asset. Come back to the live stream. Oh, UBS Asset. Okay. So I see. I don't see a UBS Asset. I see Vex MX. Oh, yeah, here we are. Okay, so we'll share our screen here really quick and show you what he's talking about. So we've got Vex MX, Vanguard Extended Market Index. They've got 817,000 shares at a market value of $15,403 per $1,000, right? So that would be, I think, $15 million total. You add 3 zeros, right? So very solid. We've got UBS Asset Management, and they've got an average price of $14.52, 90,916 shares. Shares changed negative 28%. So they sold off a pretty large chunk of change in their total value of GameStop. So that does seem to be the case here. We have shares changed, right, as negative, which typically means that they are decreasing the overall shares that they own. My guess would be that they sold off that 90,000, as you are assuming. But erring on the side of caution, I'll say, there's no way to know for sure, but that does look like the information that is being talked about. There is a link to Uncle Bruce on the description box if you would like to check that out. You guys already dropped me 3,300 likes, so I better slam this water. Ooh. All right. So I'm going to read off some of these super chats, and then we're going to talk about some of the lessons learned here. We're going to try and get Max here on the channel. If you are interested in checking that out, Max is an awesome dude. We've got the perfect vibe. We go back and forth. He's really chill. I'm way too hyper. Marty C says, like button for these two awesome guys. Oh, man, Bruce is awesome for sure. I want to hear your thoughts on AMC. I hope you're able to pull some lessons based on that, but we will give a recap, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are in comparison to in comparison to, how GameStop can apply to AMC, because I think they're one and the same in a sense, right? The difference being, as Uncle Bruce stated, that AMC is cheaper. You can afford more AMC than you can afford GameStop, which is going to attract, I would say, more retail investors, especially young retail investors. People like you and me. People like, who would be attracted to Robinhood, right? I think Robinhood is a dead cat. Robinhood's a dead cat. Dead cat. Dead cat. Dead cat. Flying is a dead cat. But you get the story here, right? You can apply this essentially. It's same situation to AMC. We're going to talk about that after I read through these super chats. I want to recognize everybody. That is always my intent. Thank you to Watt Hef. Thank you to Jonathan. I placed my first option trade today in the money, 7 options, strike price 6, and I have the money to exercise. Should wait till Thursday to exercise or do that tomorrow? It is 100% up to you, Jonathan. I don't want to tell anybody what to do, right? As long as you feel comfortable in exercising, that trigger it comes down to you. So you guys decide, at the end of the day, and I've stated this as many times as I can, that you should focus primarily on doing what you think is best for your personal situation and being comfortable with options trading. So I know that was a beat around the bush answer, my friend, but as long as you feel comfortable with it, I'd say that you're going to be safe. I don't see a situation here where this drops back down to $5, $6. As Bruce said, I think the ball is just starting to get rolling again. I think this is back in business, baby. Please talk about AMC. He only did technical analysis on GameStop. We will roll into AMC here. I just wanted to take opportunity to learn some of the knowledge that he applied, right? So that we can apply it to our current situation in AMC. Uncle Bruce is the Gandalf of Wall Street. Dude, I love that. The guy's a wizard. He is awesome. How long can hedgies go without delivering shares? 21 days from my understanding. With failure to deliver, 21 days is how long they have to make the match on failure to deliver shares. Dopest collab to date, dude. Uncle Bruce is a total G. Silverback, you know what it is. 8 to the moon. Free rocket tattoos for everyone. We hit $100 on AMC. Robbins on tattoos. Love your channel. Trey, you get the first one. Dude, I would do it. I'll tell you what. I'm all in. What is this crap all about? How could you allow that to happen? Preach. Dude, you already know it. Man, he was spitting some fire. That was gold. That's not Uncle Bruce, that's Trey from the future who found a time machine and is coming back to collab with himself to create infinity stocks. Dude, he even had the same glasses as me. Did you see that? Did you see those glasses? That was gold. That was absolute gold. Beautiful. Thank you to Devin. Kyle says, Trey, you, Bruce, and Max need a full trading day, 19th. Oh, man, if I can make that happen, I'll do it. I promise. Corey, I've got, I hope Bruce is drinking water now before the stream. Please ask Uncle Bruce, it's a good idea to sell at AMC at a profit and buy GME if no cash available. I'm sensing less confidence that AMC has GME-like potential. So it's entirely up to you, my friend. I think that AMC's got the same potential as GameStop. In fact, I see maybe a little more opportunity as a recovery play than GameStop. The difference being that they're in different sectors. So GameStop is really moving into that e-commerce, moving away from that brick and mortar like he was talking about. Whereas AMC, right, you're looking at a quarantine recovery play, right? So over the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to increase its overall revenue, which will increase their profit. And they've got an opportunity to rebrand and innovate. So they're going to be able to move into this idea of, let's say, how should I word this? Moving into, like, I've seen opportunities with virtual reality or augmented reality, right? Or possibly an Amazon acquisition, right? There's I would say, equal amounts of upside in both stocks. It's entirely dependent on what you want to rock with. I'm rocking with AMC. I'm staying true to the numbers that I've crunched, the research that I've done, and the things that I've enjoyed. So it's entirely up to you, man. You pull the trigger. If Uncle Bruce is Trey from the future, then that means he'll have those same glasses forever. Man, piss on these glasses. I do not like these glasses, man. I know they make me look like the biggest weeb on the planet, but I gotta wear them because I can't see anything otherwise. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've got dilation drops in right now, so it looks like I'm tripping acid, but I promise you I'm not. This is just, I have to take these eye drops while I've got this uveitis. Otherwise, I can't open my eyes. It allows me to be able to open my eyes good, so that is the situation that I'm in right now. So you guys just have to rock with the fact that I look like a weeb. It is what it is. Drink water, Troop. Richard, I pounded it. I hope that you were able to catch that. Thank you to everybody that's dropped a super chat. I'm going to read off as many of these as I can here really quick. Eon Doff says, I've been looking at this the last 2 weeks with AMC. I bet there are enough owners of shares of AMC on Robinhood that's over 100% of the float is held there. I would love to know the numbers. So I would have to look into that in greater detail, but based on what we've been talking about, right, I think that that's 100% plausible and possible because as he was saying, and as we've been saying pretty much in simpler and stupider terms, is the numbers don't add up. This is not a dead cat, right? You've got institutions that have been buying in long on this. You've got the short utilization that's still extremely high. We saw that sell off for a while, right? They covered their short positions. And then after that, what do we have? We had them go long in their positions, right? So and then short again. Like, so the numbers just don't add up. It's insane. You see it happening before our eyes, not a dead cat. And they keep manipulating us. And guys, I'll tell you what. If I'm wrong, just like Bruce said, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I will admit that I was wrong, but this does not make sense to me. I'll tell you what. It just does not make sense to me, because if this was a dead cat, the media would stop talking about it. You would not have institutions going in long on both AMC and GameStop, but I'm rocking AMC, guys. The numbers on AMC to me, honestly, are the same, if not possibly better, than GameStop, right? The utilization's at 96% right now. AMC's got a crap ton of institutional investors buying into it. We've got the price that was actually matching today with GameStop, right? So they work in tandem, and the shares are cheaper. I see a huge potential for a squeeze. We've got the call options, we've got the gamma squeeze potential, we've got the short squeeze potential. It's out there, guys. I'm just going on a rant right now. I am rocking some crazy adrenaline. That was an absolutely beautiful live stream. Coming to the gray area. Off topic. How's a no caffeine life? Breaking the habit, and financially, I'd like to quit too. LOL. Stay strong, bro. It's different. It's different. I'll tell you what. I have not had an energy drink in a while now. I think the last one that I had was when I was live streaming with Maher, and it's honestly a little bit different. I'd say that it takes me a little more time to wake up in the morning, but that's about it. And I'll hang in there. I'll hang in there. I'm doing okay. I do still drink coffee. I have a cup or two a day when I wake up in the morning, but that's about it. I'd say it's doable. It's just like anything in life, man. You just gotta put your mind to it. If you want to quit caffeine, if you want to quit anything, you want to start a habit, you just gotta start day one. And that's all it comes down to. I should do that with chewing tobacco next. All right, Twisted Manifest says, can we address the people trying to downplay AMC? We're all in this together. So, great point, guys. So, just because Uncle Bruce is bullish on GameStop more so than AMC, right? That doesn't change the fact that we could be bullish on AMC as well. They work in tandem. I don't think that GameStop is a distraction to AMC. I don't think AMC is a distraction to GameStop. It's the same group of people, the same entity, the retail investor, the 99%, trying to come together and work together to make things happen, to make this squeeze happen, which I think is an inevitable ball that's already been rolling downhill that you cannot stop, right? This has been the beginning. That's why I said in my previous video, we checked box one. We checked box one to get the ball rolling by getting these call options expire in the money, because this continues to compound. We've got more call options that are going to continue to roll, right? People are going to start buying in the money call options. They're going to start buying out the money call options. It's going to continue to hedge these market makers and these hedge funds that don't have the collateral or the shares available to match even the shares outstanding. It creates more shares in the market than presently exist, which is illegal, first off, but nonetheless causes a dilemma for them. They are the ones in a sticky situation, which we've been saying forever. We've been saying it absolutely forever. So you get the picture. This is not a dead cat, not a dead cat, not a dead cat. Guys, I tell you what, when this goes to the moon, when both AMC and GameStop rocket, and AMC is, we're all living on Mars, I'm going to get us a shirt made that says 801, and I'm going to get us a shirt made that says not a dead cat, because I'll preach that until I am dead. I'll preach that until I'm dead, dude. It's, I tell you what, that was nice to hear. Thank you to DeVito. You're awesome for doing this. I learned a lot from you. Thanks. And no problem, man. Thank Bruce. I'll always admit when there's somebody out there that knows more than I do. That guy knows more than I do. I learned a lot today. I'm not so prideful that I'll admit to that I can't say there are people out there more intelligent than me. He knew a lot of stuff, and I that was awesome. That was a great experience. Honestly, I'll probably rewind this and watch this live stream again so that I can pick up some more wisdom and we can apply it to more stuff in the future, right? So that's what's awesome about YouTube is the community. If you can capitalize on it and talk with more people, you're able to learn a lot about the cause. So absolutely awesome. You, Max, and Bruce need a train day together. We'll make it happen. Was a ladder attack on AMC today? What happened with that stall of price afterwards? Guerrilla Gang warping to the moon. So I'm going to pull up. Give me 1 second here to shift my screen over. I'm going to pull up my account here as such. So I'm going to pull up Weeble, and I'm going to transfer this over to AMC, and I'll share my screen as much as I can. So we're going to go over here to AMC and just take a quick peek. What do we see today in terms of price action? I'll give you my thoughts. So my thoughts today on AMC. Let me see if this lets me do it. I'm going to see if I can move this over here so that I can see this at the same time. It looks like you should be able to still see that. Pull this up. All right, we're cooking. Beautiful. So we're good. All right, anyways, what do we see today in regards to AMC? So we're going to pull this up on a one-day chart, and I'll show you exactly what my thoughts are. So if we look at this on a one-day chart, we saw a beautiful, beautiful, nice push at the beginning of the day. So it sold off a little bit down to 842. That would have been a beautiful buying opportunity, and it ran all the way up to 945. And what do we see in the volume, right? What does the volume show us? Well, if we look at the volume, we just zoom in a little bit, we saw some pretty decent volume today. You look at this on a daily chart, it was higher volume than we saw in the previous trading day, right? We saw what would have been a total of 142 million total shares. And think about this, the total shares outstanding on this stock, if it's somewhere around 350 million, right? That doesn't add up. That doesn't add up, which means that there are likely shares out there that shouldn't exist because of these naked call options, naked put options that are taking place in the market, right? It's pushing this price action more than should be possible. And who's going to lose on this? It's not going to be the retail investor. It's going to be the institutional investors and the market makers that get busted pooping in their hands, and they got to figure out how the heck to clean up their crap. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane, dude. I feel so much. I've never felt more confident than I have in the last 24 hours. There's so many good things happening right now, and I truly do believe this is going to be the beginning of the ball rolling. You might have seen a little bit of a short ladder attack. You might have, right? But the total short shares availability was not that high. So let me show this to you really quick, guys. So I'm going to pull up the total short shares availability that we had here today. What did it look like? So we're just going to pull up a fresh tab, and we're going to pull up AMC short interest, and we're going to see what we have to pop up here. So look at the AMC short interest. You can see that the number of total short shares available today was very, very low, incredibly low. So give me a second for this to load. We've got 300,000 total short shares available right now, as of 57 minutes ago. But according to iBorrowDesk, right, we had actually lower than that throughout the day. So I'm going to pull that up next. AMC iBorrowDesk. Check this out. We pull up iBorrowDesk. This is just like Fintel. It tells you there's total short shares available as well as the interest rates that are accruing on short positions throughout time. Let's take a peek at what they've got. Check this out. 250,000, 250,000, 8,000, 1,000 at the lowest point, 8.6% interest fee. As this continues to go up, guys, that means that the risk for shorts to hold their positions, it's also going up. This is the most bullish that I have been on AMC literally in the last 2 weeks. This is set up. This is absolutely set up. Look at the interest rates. Look at the number of total short shares available. At the lowest point today, 1,000 total short shares available. That tells you the entire freaking story. That's astronomical. We're going to pull up Ortex. We're going to check out Ortex utilization rates right now. 95.64% of the total legal short shares available are currently being held. That's absolutely huge. So you get the picture, guys. You get the picture. That is huge news. I'm so pumped to see this, and I've got nothing but good things to say. All right. Cooling down a little bit. Gonna read off some of these chats. Uncle Bruce, hopefully you were able to catch that. I think that Uncle Bruce is bullish on AMC. I 100% do. He focuses on GameStop. That's what his focus is. But I don't think that means he's not bullish on AMC. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Trey, what do you call a cat that falls off a roof but gets up and walks away? Not a dead cat. Not a dead cat. Not a dead cat. You already know what it is. Oh, I'm so glad you made that joke. Is it safe to say Bruce likes the stock, GME? If what he believes comes to fruition, what's a good entry point for someone with no positions? Oh, man. So, GameStop, if you're looking for a position, it's so tough to predict, but I think they're gonna move in the same way. Look at that disgusting bullish flag. Holy Toledo. Jesus. This AMC, not as nice of a bullish flag, but that is a bullish flag nonetheless. So GameStop has a dirty, dirty bullish flag starting to form right now, and it looks like it might pull back to this ascending level of support. So if you're looking for an entry point in GameStop, it's up to you, right? You guys pull the trigger, but I would say somewhere around 112 bucks, 110 bucks. It's pretty close to where I think would be a solid entry point. 51 on the RSI, volume starting to pick up again, right? But my focus with AMC, it's the same ball game. It's the exact same ball game, guys. You guys make the call. It's up to you, but I'm riding this out. I'm riding on AMC. I'm sticking to my convictions. I'm sticking to my guns. I think this is 100% a live ball, not a dead cat, and it's just going to keep rocking. Vanguard double down on AMC, says Zachary Garrison. Dude, really? We better check this out. So let me just take a quick peek. We're going to look at AMC institutional ownership. I can never type it. You guys always make fun of me. Or look at Market Beat. Market Beat usually keeps pretty well up to date. Vanguard. As of the 25th, we've got HSBC holdings. Where are you seeing that? Double down on AMC. So I'm not seeing that right now, but if you do see that somewhere, let me know. If you see that somewhere, let me know, and I will check it out. But I see HSBC as of the 25th. So I'm going to close out of these different tabs here really quick. I'll check out Vanguard, AMC. Maybe it's on Reddit. That's 12th of February. No. If you guys have a link, let me know. If you guys get the link, let me know, and we'll definitely check that out. You guys are telling me to fix the screen. Give me 1 second here. I will see what I can do. This should be pretty doable. All right, that's better. I dig that. That's cooking with Crisco. So I'm not using Ortex right now. I'm using Restream. So let me know what you think, but this just seems to work pretty well. So I will come back here. Let me just set up live stream. All right. So if you guys have a link, shoot it over to me and we'll get it cooking. We will get it cooking. You see in Weeble chat, some people believe anything. All right. Trey, with all we know now, what do you think about a $10 call option expiring in the money on March 19th? I don't mind it. I think that's going to treat you pretty dang well. Pretty dang well, man. I feel pretty comfortable in that. You know, if you want to really mitigate your risk, you can drop it down to, you know, somewhere around that $6 or $7 strike, but you're just going to pay a little bit higher of a premium for that insurance. So what it comes down to at the end of the day is how much of a premium you want to pay to basically secure your ability to purchase that $7 strike or that $8 strike or that $10 strike. It's 100% up to you. You pull the trigger there. So you make that decision. It's on Fintel? Okay, all right, we're cooking with Crisco. See, I would never go to Market Beat. What am I doing? Going to Market Beat? What a silly chicken. What a silly chicken. All right, so we're going to come back here to AMC Institutional Ownership. God dang it, I can never type. So it's terrible. Just terrible. All right. Vanguard. Oh, baby. So that was on the 10th. We just checked this out. Vanguard. Yeah, as of March 1st, baby. 1.6 million total freaking shares. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. That is beautiful. My friends, my family, my fellow Gorilla Gang, I'll tell you what. We've been talking about it forever. The more that you see these institutions go long on this, the more you know it's not a dead cat. Market money. Huge money. Oh, I'm so pumped about this. I'm really happy I opened Trey's eyes to the quadruple witching on March 19th this morning. Uncle Bruce solidified it. Credit goes to you/it's me Pixel. Dude, you brought it to my attention. I give you 100% credit. I don't do this alone. I am a simple ape. I am one weeb, right? I just like stocks. I like looking at numbers. I like looking at charts. We do this together. So you guys pat yourselves on the back. That's what it's all about, my friends. My family, my Gorilla Gang. But you know what? Do me a favor and drop a like on the video. If you'd like to see me drink some more water, we get this to 4,300 likes. I will go slam another cup of water here because we finished this sucker off. I'm all out of Gorilla Juice. Guys. I also sent an email to Andrew Mo, and if he ends up getting back to me, we'll see if we can bring him onto the live stream. I think that would be a blast. Let me just check my email really quick just to make sure that I haven't missed anything. And if he is interested, that'd be a blast. And we did get an email. This is beautiful. So we got a response. This is Trey live right now. Oh, actually, I'm just going to shoot it over here on, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here for a second, and I'm going to shoot him an email. So if we can bring on Andrew Mo, you guys want to see that, we can make it happen 100%. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I don't reveal any personal information regarding Andrew. I want to be respectful to the guy, but I'm just going to shoot him an email back, and we're going to get that taken care of. See if we can bring him on. All right, so Andrew. All right, so Andrew, yes, this is Trey live right now. Send an email to Collins Tremaine 1997 at gmail.com and we'll bring you on. Beautiful. So we'll wait for that response back from Andrew Mo and see if we can cook with Crisco with our guy. That would be a ton of fun. All right, so bring this back to reality. There we go. Switch this back to here. All right, so we're going to answer some more questions here, guys. We got Joe K. Trey, I watch your videos every day. Thank you for everything. I have a synthetic space ape ready for heart transplant and eyes on standby for you, my friend. Till then, use this money for new glasses. Oh, dude, that means a lot. That means an incredible amount. Honestly, in case you guys are wondering how my appointments went, I suppose I haven't talked about them yet. I went into the cardiologist today, and I also went to the ophthalmologist. And we talked about a variety of different things, right? We went over, my current heart situation, my cardiology, my vascular system. They did an EKG. EKG, an echocardiogram, just to see how everything's working. And this is essentially what they found. So based on all the symptoms that I've had, based on the limited tests that they did, they found that that we got double confirmation. I have had ladder infarctions, so I have had heart attacks in the past. There has been, validation of that. And they have suspicion that I also have some seizure problems going on. So they're going to test for that. The doctor was concerned that these episodes typically last for 1, 2, or 3 hours. And my mom's side of the family all has a history of seizures. So there is 100% possibility that could run down to me. I don't know for sure. I'm going to end up getting tests done. We're going to find that out. So I'm going to likely go into a neurologist. They're going to run some, tests on my brain. The next appointment that I've got is about 2 weeks. They're going to do a stress test on me. So they're going to throw me on a treadmill, watch my heart, how it beats, how things rock, see if we can, figure out what's causing this. And based on that, we're going to figure out more. So they're going to do a stress test. They're going to do an ultrasound on my heart. They're going to see if they can figure out what's going on there. And then I'm going to go in, to the ophthalmologist next. And we talked about my eyes and specifically the possibility of me having some sort of immunosuppressive disorder or something like sarcoidosis, I think it's called. I can't say it right, but essentially there could be something that's linking together my optic nerve and retina issues and my heart condition. So if we can find some sort of way to fix that all in one lump sum, that's obviously ideal. We're gonna wait and see what ends up happening. So we'll just wait and see how that ends up rolling out. So well, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know what ends up going down. Oh, the screen is being goofy, huh? Shoot. Oh, I see. So let me see what I can do about this. It's because on my OBS Studio, I have it configured a little bit differently. So I have my OBS Studio configured in a way that would fit to the restream, right? So it's... shoot. Let me see if I can reformat this. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to. Give me 1 second here. 1 quick sec. 5-minute commercial break. All right. Yeah, I should be able to fix this. So we're getting her done. We're getting her done. All right. That looks good. That looks good. And that looks good. Cowabunga! And we'll move her down. Move her down a little more. I just got to shrink the screen size a little bit here. I apologize, guys. I'm doing this on the fly. I am not a wizard by any means. Fit the screen. Transition. God dang it, I keep... Technical difficulties. Move this up. Little to the left. Little up. Little down. All right, that looks pretty good. That should be pretty beautiful. So let me know how that looks, guys. If that looks good enough to you, that looks good enough to me. I know that was a pain in the butt, but that's what we're looking at right now. It looks like Max just shot me a text. If you want, I can join for a bit. I'd hate to intrude. Nah, we're chilling. So we're gonna send Max a quick link over to this stream so that he can vibe with the Gorilla Gang. I know you guys all love Max, and we're just gonna chat about AMC stonk, baby. So let me just get this stream rocking here really quick. I'm gonna shoot him an invite. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here for the time being. Shouldn't take too long. Come back to Max. Send him an email. All right, so we got Max, Maher, restream. And once he joins, we'll be cooking with Crisco. Sent you an email. All right, rock on. So we're going to go back to reading these super chats off in the meantime while we're waiting for our boy Max, just an absolute wizard. Share my screen here really quick. There we go. We'll move it over to screen 1. Share. Gosh dang it. What is going on? All right, there we go. So we're cooking. We're going to change this back over to this. All right. Now we're good. We're cooking with Crisco. That was a pain in the butt. I am not a tech wizard by any means. Anyways, let's get back into this and answer some more questions. So, coming in from Joe K, thank you again. We got SKT241. What a legendary combo. This needs to become a weekly segment. Dude, it sounds like we're going to end up over there at his live stream. So, that was a ton of fun. We're going to definitely keep doing that in the future. Microvision today was insane. Dude, Microvision went off. That was insane. That was monstrous. Absolutely crazy numbers today. They were up, in the after hours, they're up 1.76%. Currently sitting at $17.90 right now. Absolutely beautiful day. If you look at this on the 1 month chart here really quick, we're going to take a peek at how this is looking. And it's starting to break away. We got the 15 EMA that's crossing over the 200 EMA again, right? It's getting back into that bullish territory, which is absolutely crucial. The volume picked up nice today, right? I don't know why I've got this box here. I'm assuming I was looking at the volume. But we broke out of that downward moving channel. So if we look at the levels of resistance that are moving down, we've got that descending level of resistance, got a wide range candle bar that closed above it. Now we are setting a new ascending level of support. So it is an upward moving channel right now. Obviously, we can't keep that rate of growth forever, but I'll tell you what, Microvision is looking dirty. This is a long-term stock that I will not sell for a very, very long time. Max says he will be here in 5 minutes, my friends. Gonna scroll back up and read off some more of these chats. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. If you would not mind dropping a like. Oh, we got those likes. I didn't even realize. I better get back and get that water. Shoot. All right, guys, you made it happen. You made it happen. You guys tell me to drink water, and we drink water. So Jonathan says, and I'm not worried about it dropping, but not sure. I wait till Thursday. If the price is higher Thursday, would that help drive the price up? It would. It would help drive the price up. So that's totally up to you, man. You make the call there. It's 100% your decision. But it would. It would help drive the price up. Brendan, holy Toledo, dude. What the heck? You didn't have to do that. Love the glasses. Sweetheart, been watching you for weeks. You are a dweeb. Own it. You're smart. Other nerds love you. Track and military nearly burst your heart. Let the universe take over, baby. You're a data psychologist. Man, that is so cool. Brendan, that means a lot to me. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. Thank you, my friend. The glasses are what they are. I'll try and rock them as best as I can. Devin, thank you, my friend. And then Smooth Operator. Appreciate your insights on AMC. Shout out from Texas, Mrs. Smooth. And I sitting here relaxing from work getting info. Appreciate you, bro. Take care. Hey, man, I'll keep doing my best. I'll keep doing my best. All right, gonna come back up here and read off some more of this information. So I did check FinTel. Hopefully you guys were able to catch that. I did have those numbers. So we did see that Vanguard increase their stake in AMC here today, which is absolutely astronomical. Big game numbers. Guys, I also want to talk about this. I got into SOS here today as a swing trade opportunity, and I'm going to be putting out a video on this later today. And I'm not a long-term holder of this stock. I don't plan on holding this long-term, but I wanted to talk about this because I think it presents a lot of solid long-term opportunity. So in my live stream this morning, my only regret, I wish I would have done it. I was thinking about pulling the trigger this morning at $6. I thought about doing it, but I didn't. I waited until it hit about 660, 670, and then I pulled the trigger. But we're sitting pretty good right now. On my SOS position, I'm up 13.85%, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I'm going to hold this as a couple-day swing. I think the opportunity is there. We can talk about that more, but I do have a video that's going to be talking about that here in the future. So let me just take a quick peek at the live studio. It looks like Max has joined us. Max, can you hear me okay? I don't know if all right, so we're going to get you hooked up. Max.
Yo.
What is up, brother? Dude, rocking the dual stream here today. Whoa. Dude, it's great to have you here. Welcome back to the Gorilla Gang. Everyone was so excited to know you were coming.
Oh, heck yeah. I didn't get a chance to look at the chat, but thank you everyone who welcomed me. I tuned in for about 10 minutes of your interview with Bruce. That dude is a beast.
Oh man, Bruce is a wizard. I felt like I was talking to Gandalf. Somebody said in the comment section, he was like, "This dude is the Gandalf of stocks." Absolutely awesome.
It looks like you in 40 years.
Yeah, he's even got the same glasses. He had the same glasses, man. That was absolutely awesome. Dude, it was a blast. I tell you what. What are you thinking of AMC here in the after hours? We talked a lot about GameStop today, but I think, and I'm not sure what you're able to catch, but I think a lot of the same premises that we were talking about apply from GameStop also to AMC.
Yeah, I haven't had a ton of time to look in this. I've been like one thing to the other all day. So let's just take a look here. It looks like a bunch of just consolidation around one price. It kind of
Right.
looks boring, to be honest.
The price
Yeah,
action in the
we
after
have
hours is
AMC right
choppy.
now.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of volume. The volume's been pretty low. Not that I mind that. I don't mind the low volume in the after hours. I think it's people taking a little bit of a breather. You know, we were up 15% today. So to give back, a 0.5% of that in the after hours, to me, I'm not that upset. I'm not that upset about it.
Yeah. I mean, 15% day. What more can you ask?
Yeah, exactly, man. You already know what it is, for sure. One thing that I was really excited to talk about with Bruce, and I want to hear what you think of this because this blew my mind. On the channel, we've been talking about, and you and me have talked about this a lot too, is the numbers in terms of AMC and GameStop don't quite add up. So when people are like, this is a dead play, I don't know how you're still playing this, why are you telling people to buy it? What I keep thinking about is, how can you say that when you see the institutional ownership on this going up, the short interest going up, the utilization going up, day by day by day? And Bruce broke this down in a really interesting way. He is really intelligent, man. I felt incredibly stupid, trying to have a conversation with him, but I feel like I learned a lot, and I kind of want to pass it on. He was saying what he thinks is happening. We talked about this on your live stream earlier today, is you've got these call options that hedge funds and institutions are using essentially to hedge their short positions in the stock and go long. So you've got hedge funds that are cutthroating, different hedge funds trying to bring the stock price up with basically shares that don't exist. So for AMC, for example, right, we've got 350 million about total shares outstanding. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but about that. And what Bruce was hypothesizing is with both GameStop and AMC, you've got actually more shares circulating in the market because of these naked options that are being written, because essentially these guys in Chicago, these guys in charge of the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, they can pretty much infinitely write options as long as they want, as long as they find a way to create the shares that exist. So his idea is you've got more shares outstanding than should be outstanding for the total float. And I could see that making sense because he was talking about GameStop. GameStop has it's a market cap of like $7 billion right now, and they saw $5 billion exchange hands today. What do you think of that, man? That blew my mind. That was my biggest takeaway and biggest, honestly, bull case for me. Confirmation of the fact that we were right about what we were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, first off, I got to say hi to all the Caveman Capital members here.
Oh, yeah, man. I got to drop your YouTube channel in the description box. What am I doing? Give me a sec. Go on and talk, though. You talk and I'll make that happen.
So I've actually never heard of that before. I wonder if there's a term for that. Is that like a naked option or?
Yeah. I mean, so what's crazy is he was saying it's legal. It's not illegal to do that.
Yeah. So what are the mechanisms that allow that to happen? I guess I'm not super well versed in. I wish Bruce was here to explain it in plain terms as he does. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it's possible. So basically, you have one institution who is betting that the price will go up. You have another who sells put options to then create shares.
Call options.
Call options.
Yes.
To create shares and throw them back in the market to be bought. And that later increases the price.
Yeah, you've got it pretty much nailed down. So let's like hypothesize you've got an institution that was short 1 million shares and the stock price is starting to go up and they need to find a way to cover their losses or maybe even make a gain. So what they do so that they're not getting caught red-handed, is essentially, I'm going to turn off my screen share here for a sec since we're not looking at the stock charts right now. We'll turn it back on, guys, when the time comes. Give me 1 sec. But anyways, what he's hypothesizing is you have these hedge funds that are moving up. They've got 1 million short shares, and they're doing these call options because they don't want retail investors to know that they're essentially covering their positions. So they're finding kind of backdoor ways to make it happen, right? And the same thing's happening in the way that they're shorting ETF funds, right? They're finding backdoor ways to short ETF funds. And as Bruce said, and I actually didn't know this, is they don't have to report when they're shorting, like what companies are shorting an ETF. All you can see is the total short shares, but not the companies doing it. So that's crazy. So they're just finding all these backdoor ways to make it happen, which is absolutely crazy. And honestly, it just further affirmed my bull case here. It just kept speaking the language that we've been talking in a more intelligent way.
Yeah, it takes a lot of intelligence to make things sound simple too. He does a good job of that.
Oh yeah, big time.
So was he saying that we're seeing more and more institutions backing AMC, GameStop, and hyping that side of the equation as well?
Yeah, man. He said it's cutthroat. He said he thinks that there's dozens of institutions that are going long on this, that are basically saying we're out for blood. We want to milk these other hedge funds dry, because at the end of the day, for them, right, it doesn't matter who they kill in the process. They're there to make money. They're there to make their clients money. And he talked about this in the video. He didn't talk about it here today, but they receive a commission based off of how much money they bring to the house, right? So they make money when the house makes money. So they don't care how they get it done. They just want to make money, you know?
Yeah, you'd think that there would be, a couple hedgies that team up and they're like, okay, if we team up, throw a couple $1 billion into this thing, throw a couple $1 billion in, we're probably going to make money and we're going to be in favor of the general public. We'll be on the side of the general public. So you'd think there'd be like the publicity play there, make some money. I don't know. You'd think it would be happening more.
I know, man. Honestly, I think it's just crazy greed. And, this is really cool. So Bruce talked about this, more than I have, on the channel before, but I've briefly mentioned it. I've said when you're short, you've got unlimited downside, and I hate that. That makes no sense. And when I think about AMC specifically, what comes to mind? The stock was trading at $2 at one point. So the most money that you can make per share is $2. The most money you can lose per share is infinite. So why would they do that? Why would they hold their short positions? To me, it's because they wanted to bankrupt the company. And I'll say that for two reasons. The first reason being, why would they want to bankrupt the company? It'd be because they don't want to pay taxes, right? And the second reason being, they don't want to have to disclose the shares that they're holding that shouldn't exist, right? The naked shares that could come from these different call options, or the market makers essentially hedging, or whatever it might be. You get the idea, the premise. They were trying to bankrupt the company basically so they could benefit themselves, even though their upside was only $2 a share. I mean, it's crazy the amount of greed that took place in that situation. Like, why would I do that? What upside do I have? Like, if I knew I was stepping into a stock long and the most upside that I had per share was $2, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time?
And you're battling things like inflation.
Oh, exactly.
Earn money. You're battling the recovery of the economy, and with AMC, it's a weird play. I mean, I'm not going to say that I understand all of their risk models and when you should put shorts into a portfolio and when you shouldn't, because obviously it seems like there's some balance there, because most hedge funds seem to do this, especially like the real high velocity trading ones. So there has to be a time and a place, but yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either with the upside and the downside. It's a good point.
Man, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And I think my other biggest takeaway is that I think this is a ball set in motion that is going to move pretty much no matter what. Like, I just don't see any possible way. And that March 19th quadruple witching, and I got to look into this more. I'm going to make a video talking about it, but it's very, very fascinating. And I actually think maybe it's worth pulling up here. I think I've got a tab pulled up on it right now. Let me double check just to make sure. But it was fascinating, and I think it's information definitely worth talking about. Let's see if I can find it on Reddit. But there was a lot of stars aligning.
Talk briefly about it.
Did he?
I'm not going to say I'm well versed in it, but he was talking about it. It's a day where the options expire for, I think he said 4 different exchanges.
Right. And I remember that piece. That's why it's called the quadruple witching. Yeah, there
was one more catalyst that he was saying. But then we were hypothesizing that it might be a situation where people buy the hype, sell the news kind of thing, where everyone's expecting March 19th to be, this day where everything blows up. So then you see all this buying going, 16th, 17th, 18th of March, and then a sell-off on March 19th. Because people are expecting this hype. That's a concern of mine, which I think right now, that's not a concern if you were to buy now. But, if it's March 16th and it's $600 a share, that might be a concern.
Oh man, could you imagine, dude? I tell you what, Max, I've said this publicly. Everybody that's rocking with the Gorilla Gang, if this hits $600, I am buying some lucky gorilla a Tesla. I'm gonna buy myself a Tesla. I'm gonna buy somebody else a Tesla, because that would be so stupid. That'd be crazy. And I don't think it's impossible. I really don't. It sounds crazy to say since it's trading at $9 right now, but I don't think it's impossible.
So what would that make the market cap? I think there's like 380 million shares or something like that. I mean,
by the book, there is. By the book, there is that many shares. but who knows how many actually exist, you know? And this is fascinating. I think it's really worth talking about is I think that's a real reality that people need to start talking about is based on the shares outstanding, how much money exchanges hands every day? How does that line up? You know, what's the market cap right now on AMC? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I can figure it out.
Oh man, you're a wizard. What do we do without you, man? I mean, it's supposed to be pretty easy to figure out, but
yeah, just doing the math, about $3.5 billion.
$3.5 billion? Right? B?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So think about this. Today we saw how many shares trade we saw 146 million in volume, 142 million, right? And if we just, lowball that price, we lowball that price at, we'll say that an average of like $8.80. That's a lot of money. That's more than I think that's more than market cap, 142.
How many shares were traded?
142 million today, and we could meet in the middle somewhere between the average price.
Market cap was traded.
Yeah,
just under half. Yeah, in one day.
But think about this: with how many people are holding AMC, how's that possible? Do you think it's day traders scalping back and forth, or do you think it's shares that were hedged by market makers, right? So they could cover their call options, the usual call options coming in, and that feeds the gamma squeeze, right? Because that's what I think is going on right now. I think they're in a pickle, a big fat pickle, man.
It's hard to say. You can't say it's impossible because you could theoretically have that many shares traded back and forth. If it was bought at $9. You held it, went up to $9.20, went back down to $9. You sold it. No supply or demand pressure either way.
Right.
And that could be 1,000 shares traded. So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it seems odd that we're seeing day after day with that much volume. I wonder what that, what is that relative to a company like Apple or something like that people buy and hold, but it's still a popular company. Do we know?
Well, let's check out how much volume they see every day. Apple on today saw 115 million in total volume. I don't know how many shares outstanding they have. That'd be interesting to know.
Apple shares outstanding.
So 115 million in total volume. They went up. In the after hours here, they're up, about 0.5%, but they don't move much. They're not very volatile stock, as we know.
Let's see if I can find their shares outstanding real quick.
I think Yahoo Finance has it. Guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Max's channel while he's doing some reading. This guy, he named his crew today. They're called the Neanderthals. I absolutely love that. That's gold.
Yeah. Named after my brow ridge.
Dude, I relate to that so much because I've got the Neanderthal brow ridge too. I feel that to a T. Maybe it's a Minnesota thing. Who knows?
It could be. Certain percentage Neanderthal. So this says that they have 16.7 billion shares.
16.7 billion?
I mean, their market cap is so high, it's like over $1 trillion. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you do the math here, like what's 115 million divided by their market cap? Like that tells you a lot, right? The amount of shares being exchanged there, even though it's high, that's like a percentage of their shares outstanding. So that's like a perfect example of the craziness taking place with AMC and GameStop.
Right. Well, let's do another example. Let's do Tesla.
Man, it's funny you're mentioning these because we were talking about this with Uncle Bruce. Now we're just basically fact checking. So Tesla saw today. What was that?
That's what I'm here for.
Oh, dude.
Tesla 959 million shares outstanding.
Saw 26.9 million today. So a fraction. That's maybe a 20th, 1/20th.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting thought. The thing is, I don't think it's possible to prove what's going on.
I know it's not, but gosh, think about this. 1.2 billion shares were traded on AMC on what day would this have been? The 27th. So I'm going to share my screen here really quick just to show everybody because I think this is huge to show. Let me just come back over here. Turn my screen on. We'll rock it like this. All right. So 1.2 billion shares were traded on January 27th. And if their overall shares outstanding is 350 million, there is no possible way. There's no way. I do not believe for a second that you just had people trading back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because I just think about all the people who are bag holders that bought it at 18 bucks, 15 bucks, and just averaged the whole way down. You know, that makes no sense.
Wow. Yeah. That's a good point.
That's insane. That's so crazy. Like, I don't even feel like people are talking about that.
And that's in the same day, you know. Like, I almost never will buy something and sell it in the same day.
And most people won't. Most people would not. Like, you're not going to get people that buy into AMC, especially new investors that are going to, like, maybe that was the first day they bought the stock. They bought it at 18 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever. They're not going to sell it the same day. Most people don't do that, right? Because they're like, I want to be a part of this movement. You know, I'm new to the market. I'll tell you what, when I was new to the market, I didn't buy and sell within 5 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. I just didn't know, you know, and it's just, I just can't fathom it. I do not see any possible way that you saw the total shares outstanding circulate 3 times in a single day. There's no freaking way.
It's absolutely nuts.
It's mind blowing, man. Dude, I'm just amped up right now. I'm fired up. Uncle Bruce got me in a mood. He got me in a crazy mood. That was a blast.
Uncle Bruce got acting some type of way.
Oh, he did. Big time. Big time. All right, so I'm going to read off some of these super chats really quick just to respect everybody. Just take me a second. Thank you to Tracer Facer. That's a cool name. Use Dark Reader Browser. I know you guys keep telling me that. I keep forgetting. Did you get your AMC options? I have not done it yet, so you need to purchase options with settled cash. I didn't have any settled cash in my portfolio, so that's a lesson to you guys. Lesson of the day. You need settled cash in order to buy options. All right, so I'm going to see if these guys have any questions. If you guys have any questions for Max, let me know. And if you want to see me slam a cup of Gorilla Juice, aka water, let's get this video to 5,500 likes, and I will put down some mad Gorilla Juice. I'll be happy and hydrated. That's terrible.
Consider me one of those likes.
Max, you're doing the Lord's work. What a guy. What a guy. So they're telling me they want me to check out the failure to deliver. This is coming from Bitter Snuffleupagus. Also, I noticed you, Ghost. I noticed you. I appreciate those super chats. I will take the time to read those off here in a sec. But we're going to pull this up here really quick. I think it's going to be interesting to talk about. So, all right. So coming back to this. What do we have here? Failure to deliver. So, what do we see? Let me know if can you see that all right, Max?
It's real small. You might have to read it for me to...
Okay, I think I could scroll in on this. Is it like Alt in the mouse scroller?
I think it's Control. Yeah, Control and Scroll or Control.
Ah, there we go. Look at that. We're cooking. All right, so can you see that better?
Oh yeah.
All right, so what you should know about the data. February 2004 to February 2021. This text file contains the data, QSIP numbers, ticker symbols, issuer name, price, and total number of fails to deliver. Let's just read, data prior to July 2009. The files contain each settlement date over a calendar year. The monthly files are archived in a zip file for each calendar quarter. We cannot guarantee the accuracy of the data. Let's see if we can find some interesting stuff here. Man, this is a crap ton of stuff. 2018. So we're going to look at the first half of February 2021. I think this will be interesting. So we'll see if it lets me open these. I know that sometimes zip files are all goofy. Oh, that is so tough to read. I can't read that. Let's see if we can find AMC.
Control F.
Control F. Oh, I didn't even know that. AMC. AMCX. There we go. Oh, AMC Networks. That's not it. Just kidding. AMC Entertainment. There we go. We got it. So AMC right here. What do we have? 13.3 or 13.26. That's 2021 0201. I want to know what that 13.26 means. Does it say that at the top?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Scroll all the way back up. Price, description, quantity of fails. So that's after the symbol. Ah, there we go. We were looking at the wrong number. So we're going to go back, Control F, AMC. We should be able to find this pretty easy now. All right, there we go. So failures to deliver, we had 56,769 shares as of February 1st. That's quite a few shares that failed to deliver. And what does that mean? That means that those failure to delivers need to fill, from my understanding, within 21 days. You want to add to that?
I'm not an expert in the fail to delivers. I know I've seen it referenced so many times, but I'm always curious, what's a normal number of fail to deliver? It seems weird to me that it's a number larger than 0.
Right, that makes no sense, man. And what that comes down to me is it just further adds to our point of the shares. They don't have the collateral. Otherwise, why would these fail to deliver? Right? They're scrambling. And that would also speak on the fact that some people aren't able to get their orders filled.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is interesting stuff. You've had a long day, dude. You've been grinding. Live stream for like 3 hours this morning. Live streamed again for like 2 hours this afternoon. Back on this live stream.
Yeah, man, it's been like about 12 hours so far, but we're still going at it.
Jesus,
got a little bit of time here. I gotta join the stream,
Yeah, I guess so, man. It's always good to have you here. We gotta keep rocking. You already know what it is. You're part of the Gorilla Gang.
That's right. Smooth brained.
Yeah, big time. So people are talking about CTRM. I see mixed opinions here. I know we've talked about this before. I'm personally long on CTRM. I think they've got some pretty solid potential. I gave my bull case, and you gave kind of your short-term case on it. I think it's got solid short-term potential. Personally, I think it could have potential as a long-term stock. But they're going to have to generate more revenue to continue the growth, which I think they've got the capabilities to do. It's just going to be interesting to see what their financials look like over the next year.
Yeah, I think, how long-term are we talking? Are we talking 2 years or are we talking 20 years?
I think 1 to 2 years.
Okay. So I think for the price to be justified, without looking at the exact numbers, I want to say I was estimating, we might need like a 20 to 40x increase in revenue based on previous financials, which they've probably already 3x'd since their previous they're at least on track for that anyways. So, they're in a steady clip. It's just, you have to see a lot more growth. And I think,
right.
I think we'll probably, in the short term, it could go either way. It could, double in price, but, I think we'll probably see some kind of correction, and if you really like that company, you'll be able to buy in at a discount at some point. Just in my opinion,
I can see what you mean, but I think the only way that I disagree is that we've seen it correct a lot already. So, like when I think about the Nasdaq went through a little mini correction. Shoot, I haven't even put that video up yet, but I better do it. I keep forgetting. Let me just pull up on this screen. Give me like 30 seconds. Sorry. I realized that I recorded a video and I didn't put it out. You ever do that, man?
Get out that content. Yeah, especially during streams. I've done that several times.
Oh, God.
And just completely forget what I'm doing.
It's so tough. Guys, while I'm doing this, make sure you go check out Max's channel. Give him some love. Go subscribe. This guy is an absolute beast. He's got the perfect chill vibe for when you want to take a break from my psychoness, my, as you guys would say, cocaine, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this dude's a G. All right.
Yeah,
so
sometimes I see messages that's like, all right, I had to take a breather from Trey for a chill section. They probably chill out with me for 10 minutes, head back over to Trey's channel.
It's a good combo, man. I think it's the dynamic duo of 2021. We got to come up with a name.
That's right.
We got to come up with a name.
That's right. Yeah, we do. We need like someone was saying something earlier when you joined in on my stream. I think it was like, man, what was it? I wish I remembered. It was a combined name that worked pretty well.
Man, you'll have to remember. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. We got some creative people here in the chat who can probably think of something.
Oh yeah, big time. So the NASDAQ. This is what I've been using as my baseline for market corrections or market crashes. And I think that the NASDAQ is in a very interesting situation right now. It seems to me like we've broken out of this really, really harsh correction that we saw over the last week. So we had a candle that closed and opened and closed above this descending level of resistance, a really harsh downward moving channel. And in terms of correction, if we were to compare to the previous correction, which was about, I would say 38%, 50%, somewhere in that neck of the woods, we can just find that out here really quick. So we drop a Fibonacci retracement and do the quick math. It wasn't even that. It was 30%, right? So in terms of correction, I think we've actually already found the bottom. So at least in the next 6-month time frame, 12-month time frame, I don't think you're going to see another correction for probably another 6 months if this ends up being the bottom, right? But that brings me to kind of the caveat, which is we need to either continue to ride this new level of support that we're starting to build, or break this previous support, which will now act as resistance. And if we end up doing that, I think it's just back to bullish territory. And everybody was saying we got an imminent coming market crash, but I think CTRM is going to be locked and loaded. I think they're going to ride this new wave, specifically because what they do for the market is pretty much unreplaceable until like maybe we've got electric boats or something, but I don't see that being a thing. And if it was, they're gonna capitalize on it. There's never gonna be like a shift in demand for seaborne transportation of dry bulk cargo vessels. And I think it's huge. I think it's huge.
Yeah, I absolutely think they'll continue to grow, and like you said, that business isn't going anywhere anytime soon. If you do like that business, you might want to just take a look at the industry though as well, and just see.
Oh yeah, totally. See how the competition is
right there. Because you might be able to find someone with more revenue at a lower market cap that you could hop in on and either diversify or maybe just choose the one that you like best. But I definitely don't think it's the worst investment. I just think it's slightly overvalued. So
yeah, no, totally, man. You got your case. I've got mine. It's not bad at the end of the day. It pulled back pretty hard, man. It pulled back pretty hard. You were right in the short term. I'll be honest. I didn't think it was going to pull back to $1.03. I'm glad it held over $1. My latest CTRM video, I said I think it's going to hold over $1, and it did. So that was good. I think that's going to be the floor, at least for now. I see people worried about it in the chat, and I don't think they should be that worried about it. I think it's going to be a pretty solid stock for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be interested to see how that one plays out, because it's just not like any other hyped stock. I guess maybe if you want to compare it to like Socket Mobile, that's not.
Oh yeah, it's so unusual. It's a very unusual play. All right, so there's something I saw pop up here, and I hope you don't mind that I address this, but I think it's important to talk about. It's two people here, Ashton and Brandon. So Ashton just says, the market shows a good day to pop off. I was in the ER for most of the day. When I looked at the portfolio, it made me feel a little better. And then Brandon says, what up, Trey? I love the channel. I suffered from depression and have been down lately, but your channel has been keeping me up, GG, and get well soon, brother. And I don't like gliding over these. I think these are important to talk about, and that's why I want to bring it up, is if you guys are feeling down, right, and I try to make this, very business oriented. Max, you can feel free to add to it for sure. But if you're feeling down, don't feel like, there's no hope at the end of the tunnel. And AMC is such an emotional roller coaster, my friends. And like, I can speak on this myself. There's times where I'm riding such insane highs, like extreme dopamine crushes, and I just feel on top of the world. And then when AMC is dipping really hard, it's getting smashed. I'm getting a bunch of hate from StockTwits, Twitter, Reddit, whatever it is, YouTube. I feel like, God, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I wasting my time? And there's light at the end of the tunnel. So you really need to keep a macroscopic picture. Like, eventually you're going to turn a corner. There's going to be somebody that comes into your life. There's going to be some sort of event that happens that shifts your perspective and the way you think about the world. So just keep pushing for that next inherent tomorrow. That's what I want to say, my friends. I hope that you guys are in good places. Ashton and Brandon, I never know. Like, we can never know for sure where people are sitting at. But I wanted to address that because you matter. We want you in this world. I want you in this world, right? So keep doing good things. Keep investing, keep stepping your foot forward for the next one.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, there's ups and downs. The important thing is let's turn those ups and downs into a trending upwards George W.
The George W. Man, you know what? I love that. I sometimes I'll read Weeble and StockTwits comments, and people that I don't even know if they follow my channel, but they call it George W, which is the coolest thing. I feel like somehow we branded that, which is just awesome. Yeah, but I just wanted to address that. So thanks for saying something too, Max. That's good. That's good stuff.
So, someone says we need to call ourselves the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, dude, that's a double whammy. I saw another one in here that said maximum trades. Both of those are good. Both of those are good. That's such gold.
Blown away by how creative people are.
Man, I'm not that creative. I'm so glad that I've got other people out there to help me out in that realm of things, because I am just not that smart. We do it together. Apes together, man. Apes together. That's what it's all about. Right. For sure. Oh man, look at SOS running here today. So SOS is a stock that I picked up as a swing trade, and it is going crazy in the after hours right now. Holy crap.
Gone from?
What was that?
What's the price that it went up from? I can't see the numbers.
So I'll come out here to the 5-day. It ran up from market open $6. It's at $8. So it's up 20% in the after hours right now. Now it's at 804. This thing's just still running. It is going crazy. How much volume are we seeing right now? I mean, it's not even off that much volume, which is insane.
Do you have a price target on that one?
I think it's got potential to hit, 13 to $15 as a solid recovery swing. If we look at them on a 1 month chart, they've hit $16 already. I'll probably be looking for 12 at $12, $10, $12. I'll probably take out, some off the top just to lock in some profits, and then we'll reevaluate from there. But I'm going to be rocking this as a swing trade. I don't want this as a long-term position. There was some shady stuff that I read that kind of sways me a little bit, but thankfully, swing trading, and this is a good lesson, swing trading doesn't really heavily rely on company fundamentals. It's all about sentiment and riding momentum. So I'm gonna ride the momentum on this and get out.
Yeah. There you go.
Definitely, man.
What did you buy in on?
I got in at 671 average. Okay. So I'm up pretty decent. I'm up 20% on that. $524, something like that. I'm pretty happy.
Nice.
I was gonna pull the trigger this morning, man. I was talking about this before you got on, but shoot. What was I about to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was looking at this morning when it was at $6, and I was gonna push it as a buy for a ride the momentum play, a break over resistance, and I hesitated. And if I bought it right there, man, god dang it, I'm so salty. I'm so bummed. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, whatever. I'm not gonna be mad about gains.
Yeah, I feel the same thing about Bitcoin, and now it's up like 10% today or something like that.
Yeah, Bitcoin's been on a rampage. I see people talk about it in the chat. 6%. It's almost. I think it broke 50,000 actually, and then it pulled back a little bit. I'll look at it at 5 minute. Yeah, 6%. So it broke 50K again, and now it's pulling back to about 49,460 or so. Oh, wow. But
okay,
it's still up. It's still rocking, man. That's gold. Yeah. Do you know who Belmont Capital is?
No, I don't. I keep seeing that it mentioned though.
I see that too. So I think I should probably check this out, huh?
Let's check them out.
All right. Belmont Capital. Let's see what we can find. YouTube. So I think people have talked about Belmont Capital. I've probably checked them out in the past. For whatever reason, I'm just drawing a blank. Belmont Capital. God dang, I just can't type to save my life. Oh, yeah. Belmont Capital. Duh. Yeah, I've seen some of his videos. I'm not subscribed at the moment. I'll probably change that though. Gotta show some love.
Nice looking thumbnails.
Yeah, he does. These are clean. These are really clean. And he's got a lot of AMC videos. In fact, he's kind of covering all these different meme stocks. CCIV is an asterisk. I think CCIV's got long-term potential. I know there's so many people out there that feel like they got burned with CCIV, but I always viewed this stock, if it ended up having the merger, as a 5-year play. Like, you can't play the true potential of CCIV if you're holding this for a month or even a year. Because I just think about Tesla. How long did it take Tesla to get off the ground? They almost went bankrupt before they got off the ground,
I mean, they're still not profiting from cars.
Right. So you get the picture, that's how I'm viewing CCIV. It's just it's a time play. You got to wait it out. Looks like he's live right now.
Oh, nice. I've been hearing a lot about people wanting to hop in on Palantir right now that it's down. I need to do some diligence on that.
I also need to do some diligence. I'm going to show some love to the guy here really quick. Hold on. GG, what's poppin'? I almost typed what's pooping. Trey wants to collab. Oh, look at this. People are typing that as I'm going. GG, what's poppin'? Just gold. There we go. Gotta show some love, man. I'm all about loving positivity in the community. Max, I'll tell you what, I'm glad that you were the first guy that I really had a great collab with. I collaborated with a couple other people beforehand. Brian Jung was awesome for sure. That was a lot of fun. But what's really cool is in the finance community when people click. I feel like sometimes you've got people out there that kind of go on witch hunts, trying to find opportunities to use people's names to get their views up. And I feel really grateful for the friends that I've made. I would consider you a friend for sure. Andrew Moe, he's a good dude. Uncle Bruce, really good dude. Brian Jung, love the guy. It's tough to know sometimes, you know, and you come off very transparent. So if anybody wants good information, man, this is your dude. Not looking for a witch hunt. Not looking to start beef, YouTube beef or whatever.
No beef. Yeah, I feel the exact same way about you. I mean, people in the chat, they've probably seen us stream together, 10 times in the last 2 weeks. But ever since our first stream, we've literally been texting every single day.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Bros, dude. How can you not? Knowing I went to St. Cloud State with you, that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I tune into your streams half the time too, just because I like the energy, and you're obviously transparent, and you make it easy to listen to, and you're obviously you're doing something right.
Yeah, man. Well, when I want to chill out and just drink a Diet Coke and kick my feet up, I watch your streams as well, so it works out.
Man, YouTube just took me down today.
Oh, dude, you got to tell everybody about this. This is crazy.
So I was streaming this morning for about 3 hours during market open, and played that classic Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not effing leaving clip. And as soon as I played that, YouTube, I literally got a notification pop up on my stream thing that YouTube's like, copywritten content detected, your content is being blocked, or something like that. I'm like, oh no,
man, so just got slammed.
We're making jokes about it on the stream. You're like, might as well just play it again.
Yeah, why not at this point, for sure.
Getting busted for it once. We were joking about it, and then finally the stream ends. And YouTube must have sent someone to manually review the stream. And I got 58 content strikes.
For all your music and stuff. How about all the times you cussed? How about that live stream that I cussed on your on your stream? Did I get striked?
No issues with that. Nope, no issues with that.
Gold.
So I got to deal with 58 content strikes right now, copyright claims, because I was playing songs that I have rights to, but now I have to go in and prove that I have rights to each and every one. It was a whole ordeal. Now they're giving me a hassle on what happens with YouTube is you get one ding against your channel, they'll like downgrade your next 5-10 videos.
That's so whack.
I posted a video like an hour ago, and I could tell right away. I was like, "Oh, this thing." There's people like commenting, "I didn't get a notification for this."
What the
like,
heck?
Oh, geez, YouTube.
That's so
YouTube's
whack,
at it
man.
again. But whatever, it happens.
Jeez.
Part of the game.
What am I reading here? I'm getting mixed reviews here. Some people are saying that Melvin Capital wants to collab with us, and then some people are saying that Melvin Capital was trash talking me. So I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That makes me laugh. Whatever. All right, so I think this is going to be an interesting thing to talk about. Trey, there's 6.2 million shares that failed to deliver. There's multi-entries regarding the failures to deliver on AMC. 6.2 million total? I thought it said 52,000. If it's 6.2 million, and they have to make those shares happen within 21 days, that could really drive the price action if you just got 6.2 million shares of green volume coming in. Somebody, if somebody wants to clarify on that, that'd be sick. But that's my take on it. That could be huge.
Yeah, do we have a source for these numbers?
Yeah, I'd like to see that for sure. I'm getting 2 people that said it. Bitter Snuffleupagus said, Trey, it's God, I love that name. It's actually 6.2 million shares with failures to deliver from 1st of February to the 15th. If you search that doc, you'll see multiple entries. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. So that'd be pretty huge. And the failures to deliver, we can just, I suppose, pull this up and read it here really quick. So let me just find this. God, I've got way too much crap pulled up.
Yeah, your tabs are always insane.
I know, it's bad. Failure to deliver. We can just research this right now. So failure to deliver definition. We're just gonna do a little reading. I'm just gonna zoom in here so that everybody can see this fine. All right. So what is failure to deliver? Failure to deliver refers to a situation where one party in a trading contract does not deliver on their obligation. Such failures occur when a buyer does not have enough money to take delivery and pay for the transactions at settlement. A failure can also occur when the seller, and this is my suspicion and hypothesis, is they do not own all or any of the underlying assets required at settlement, and so cannot make the delivery. And that would make a lot of sense when you think about the naked call options that are happening, right? So they're making all these call options, and they don't have the capability to deliver on their side of things. So from my understanding, there's a settlement date. So we can read this next. Whenever a trade is made, both parties in the transaction are contractually obligated to transfer either cash or assets before the settlement date. Subsequently, if the transaction is not settled, one side of the transaction has failed to deliver. Failure to deliver can also occur if there's a technical problem, yada, yada, yada. Failure to deliver is critical when discussing naked short selling. So I would think this also applies to naked options calls. You know, it works kind of both ways. When naked short selling occurs, an individual agrees to sell a stock that neither they nor their associated broker possess. The individual has no way to substantiate their access to such shares. The average individual is incapable of doing this kind of trade, but an individual working as a proprietary trader for a trading firm and risking their own capital may have the ability to carry out such an order. I want to see the exact date and when they have to cover this by. I thought it was 21 days.
And what's a normal failure to deliver? You know, is it 1% of the shares, 1% of the trades? Is it 10%?
That's the thing. I feel like the failure to delivers is actually pretty freaking high. I at least, you know, compared to what it usually is. So with AMC or GameStop, you know, when the total shares being traded are like half of the total float, which makes absolutely no sense. You're gonna have that risk because, you know, there's only supposed to be 350 million shares that exist, right? But you wouldn't have 6.2 million shares, you know, according to a lot of people. You know, I bet you I could run through that spreadsheet and find it and it would add up just fine. But I don't think you'd have that number if you know, if there wasn't more shares existing that are supposed to, you know?
Right. So you said 6.2 million shares failed to deliver.
You're right. That's what I'm seeing from a couple different people here.
2% of the entire company failed to deliver.
That's what it sounds like. That makes that's pretty interesting.
That is wild. So 6.2 million, multiply that by 9. That's $55 million worth of shares that are just, we don't know.
Yeah, man. Oof. That's sketchy stuff.
Where's that 55 million?
Sounds like Belmont wants to come down. You want to have a chat with Belmont?
Sure. I mean, I don't have a ton of time left. I'm already running behind time.
Yeah, man. I apologize. We're keeping you here long. You had a long freaking day.
Yeah. I still got more to do too. So maybe we should schedule it with him in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably the better way to go about it. So if you guys want to go over to Belmont and tell him to shoot me an email, my email is in the description box or the about section of my YouTube channel. He can definitely shoot me one. I'll get back to him. We can definitely make something happen, but that'd be interesting. Just send him a message. We're gonna rock out the last couple minutes here with Max. How long you got left, man? We'll keep you here as long as you want.
Yeah, let's do. I mean, I can do another 5-10 minutes.
Rock on. So this is your guys' time. If you want to ask Max a question, we can 100% chat about that.
Let's hear it.
Trey and Max, what are your thoughts on AMC GameStop potentially being short sale order exempted from the uptick rule regulation? Could possibly explain the billions in volume if it's short exempt.
That only lasts for 1 day though, doesn't it? If it finishes down 10%.
My understanding, yeah. So I'm gonna read this again just to make sure. What are your thoughts on AMC GameStop potentially being short sale rule or short sale order exempted from the uptick rule regulation? So are you saying that they would essentially take that away so that you can, you know, even if short sale rule is in effect, you could still short it on the downticks? From my understanding, when the short sale rule is in place, what you've got is a stock drops 10% below the previous day's close. It triggers those breakers, right? And then from there on out, the rest of the day and the next trading day, you can only short on the upticks, which makes it more difficult. That doesn't make the shorts exempt per se. It just makes it more difficult to short their positions. So you're more likely to see bullish action. It's not going to drive the price action down to $0 or whatever. That's my take.
I haven't heard any news of that. It would be kind of insane if it was just those two companies. They're like, nah, you can short them on the way down. I mean, it's there for a reason. So you don't just see short attacks for days and days and days, just tanking the company.
Yeah, big time, big time. So the SSR is always put in place when a stock drops 10% below the previous day's close. That does not include after hours or pre-market. That's something to keep in mind. I always get asked that. Or, maybe a stock is up 10% one day and they go back down to break even. That doesn't trigger the SSR either. It needs to drop 10% below the previous day's close. And then from there on out, you've got SSR in place, which makes it more difficult to short, likely increasing the overall green volume. So that'd be my 2 cents there. I say that all the time. People always say, if I made $1 for every time Trey gave his 2 cents, I'd be a millionaire. It makes me laugh.
I think for OTC stocks, there's a slightly different rule. I think it's a bigger decline.
Is it?
I want to say, I don't remember the exact percent, like 40% or something like that, if the shares are lower than $1. Might want to verify that just to be sure.
I would have to look into it. I usually don't play with OTC market stocks. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can check that out quick.
What our thoughts are on the market in general. So if you look at just about any indicator as far as is the stock market overvalued, everything is screaming yes. However, I think we're in a situation where we're seeing more new people investing than ever with more cash willing to just pump into things. We're seeing more people willing to invest in companies that aren't producing cash. Like they're not investing because a company is returning some amount of earnings per shares or, some percentage of profit. And they don't care if there's no profit. We're seeing a ton of stimulus money pumping into the economy, more money than ever before, just flowing in the economy. That's just going to various things, going into businesses just through sales and going into people's pockets, buying more stocks. And also there's really no alternative right now that's great in terms of a different investment to take. Real estate's also really expensive. Bonds, you might as well, they're laughable. They've gone up to 1.4% or something like that. You got crypto, which is volatile and not producing cash either, or stocks really. That's like your two options. So even though everything seems to be overvalued, I think we're probably still going to see it keep on going up.
That'd be my 2 cents too. And I think I'm pretty interested to see, especially with, retail investors investing way more than they pretty much ever have in the past. I think you're seeing a little bit of a shift in priorities. So I think about this. If the country writes off, these stimulus checks and you get, people get $1,200 or $1,400 or whatever the dollar sign is. I would say, in previous times, maybe people would use that to buy coffee or, to go to a movie, pay their rent, pay their bills, right? But I think you've got kind of this transition taking place in terms of what people are doing with their money. And if you've got, money that's just circulating back out to the market, it's fueling products, right? It's like just a consumer buying more products, right? That's going to essentially just keep feeding into that endless loop of inflation. However, if you have these stimulus checks or, inflation, they keep printing more money, people get more money in their hands, and this goes into the market. This is interesting because at that point, essentially what you're having happen is the same thing that happens when big institutions or the 1% hold on to money indefinitely. It cuts off the supply, which increases the demand of the dollar. So I'd be pretty interested to see how that plays out. I think, that's kind of a speculative opinion, but I think that more now than ever, as you said, Max, more people are starting to invest in the market, especially young people, like between the age of 18 and, 30 years old, 35 years old. People that, 5 years ago, maybe even a year ago, honestly, I wouldn't have said I would have done it. COVID and quarantine has actually been really cool because I think you're seeing a lot of people that were brought over to YouTube for whatever reason or another, found a YouTube investing channel or maybe like who knows what, right? And just decided, hey, I'm going to give this a shot. And now we've got this like booming, this booming movement of young people getting into the market. And I think it's going to change the way that things work. I think that's a large piece of why it's been so bullish. That's just that's my 2 cents.
So let me show you something here real quick. Yeah,
for sure. I will stop sharing. It's all you.
So something to consider when we're talking about stimulus in all this additional money in the economy, when you put money just into equities, the money isn't flowing through through different various hands. The velocity of money doesn't change much. So like you said, in the past, someone might have received their stimulus check. They went and bought coffee. They went and, paid their car car payment. They went and spent it on X, Y, and Z. What happens in that case? That business receives the money. They pay their employees. That employee does the same thing, on and on and on again. If you just take that money and you just put it in your bank account, or you take that money, you buy some stocks and it just sits there, the velocity of money actually doesn't change, which is really interesting. What's happening right now, we can see the velocity of money, the M2 is what it's called, has decreased so dramatically in 2020. We can see here the velocity of money is the frequency at which one unit of currency is used to purchase domestically. So like how many times is each dollar used? The circulation of each dollar. Produce goods and services within a given time period. In other words, it's the number of times $1 is spent to buy goods and services per unit of time. So it's really interesting that this has gone down so dramatically in a time when we actually have more money flowing than ever.
So what's your deduction of that then? Do you think that's just because there's less people trading hands with money? Do you think it's more people investing, or what do you think?
I think a lot of it is money just sitting in various accounts, whether that be a bank account, an investment account, people going out and doing less, people saving more because things are uncertain still right now. There's probably research done on it, why this is, exact reasons, but that's just my hypothesis anyways.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that lines up pretty well with kind of what we've been hinting at so far here, I'm really excited to see how the market changes in the next year. I think what we're experiencing right now with Wall Street bets, with Reddit, with new young investors stepping into the market, this correction, guys, I think is going to be a blip. I think it's going to pass so fast. I think you are not going to remember this in 2 weeks. Honestly, if you remember, you're going to be thinking, why didn't I buy more of my long-term investments? Because the market's just bullish. It's crazy. And what's insane is people think we're in a bit of a bubble, right? And what is the bubble going to pop? And I just keep thinking to myself, I keep coming back to this thought of we've got stimulus checks coming. The country is slowly reopening. I think that is just only going to add to the bull case for the market. I don't see how that can't,
I mean, I think so too. I think that correction really showed, last week or whenever, really showed what's going to happen. There was just a couple, there was a correction, there was a couple discounts. People just gobbled that right up.
Oh yeah, big time.
Some discounts. It's like there was just a buying spree, and that's what I'm waiting for. That's probably what you're waiting for. It's like there's so much cash just sitting there ready to deploy, and I think that's just going to keep happening for a while, and then eventually, maybe we'll have the worst crash
since 2008 house crisis. Yeah.
Maybe. I wish there was a nice big correction so I could go on a buying spree. I have way too much cash right now.
Yeah, man. Awesome. What I keep thinking about is when we had that correction take place, I watched in the pre-market, we had that disgusting gap down. You probably saw it too. And then at market open, there was like a 5 to 10 minute insane dip, like a crazy, like every stock was down 20%. And then we closed the day pretty much like break even. I was like, what? So that tells you the whole story. Like everybody that had capital took advantage of that. They're like, heck yeah, dude, I'm not scared. I'm eating this up right now. And I just think that's the case with the majority of people, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, you saw so many companies that just saw like a real quick V, like
yeah, exactly. What I think about is microvision. So I'm going to come back here to my screen, and dude, this is the best time stock I think I've ever bought on a dip. I take so much pride in this. I'm a happy chicken. So give me 1 second to just pull this back up. All right, share my screen again. Hopefully it doesn't crash like last time. Last time I tried sharing my screen on your live stream, dude, my computer decided to die. Oh no, don't do it again.
There's a dead cat.
Oh, my computer's a big dead cat. Please, be okay. Be okay. Oh no, don't do this again. No, don't do this. Can you see my screen? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, kind of. It looks like you're choosing the screen.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, it's because you're running it through OBS, right?
Oh no, dude. Oh no. I think my computer's gonna die again. Oh crap. Well, so for whatever reason, the last time I did this, the same problem happened. And here we are. Here we are, the same problem happening. This looks goofy. Okay, well, I am probably going to wrap this up then, because this is starting to do the same thing it did before my computer crashed. So, Max, thank you for joining the live stream again here. Well, thank you for joining the Traders Podcast. Any last words for the community, the Guerrilla Gang?
No, I appreciate the Guerrilla Gang. My favorite favorite gang of smooth-brained apes on YouTube.
You know what it is.
And I'm always happy to be here and join in on streams. I hope we do another one sometime soon.
Rock on, brother. Sweet. Well, you guys check out Max. Check out his YouTube channel. Show him some love. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash the like button. Whatever you want to do, that's good stuff. Go use his Weeble link. He's a good dude, and that's what we've got for you today.
Thanks for tuning in.
Rock on. Thank you, brother. And thank you to everybody out there that dropped the super chat. I know that I'm not able to read all these off, but it is greatly appreciated. I know that, usually I'm rocking solo, but I like to be respectful of the guests, and it's great to have everybody here. So take it easy, Gorilla Gang. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and peace. All right, so I can't even end